Haha, right. Hello, everyone. How's it going? Good to see you all. I'm just going through some final checks. I'm a little bit late tonight. Been busy doing a few things in Planet Zoo to get prepped for tonight. Hello, Mischief Frost. How are you doing? Um, yeah, so lots to do today. We're going to dive straight into our gameplay because why bother talking around what we're going to be doing today? So let's go straight into it. We are back in the dome, and yeah, we've done a cup. I've fixed it basically. We had some trouble matching it all up last time, and I finally think I've now got it sorted. Good evening, Georgia. Good evening, Wolfie. Welcome to the stream. Great to have you all here. So tonight I thought we'd do maybe our first actual habitat build in the dome, and we're going to work out what's going to go on. I could do the entrances, but first I've got a few things that I want to finish off that I was doing a little bit earlier. As you can see, our finances after building the dome and doing a few other bits and pieces have really taken a bit of a hit. So I'm going all the way over to this side of the zoo, and I'm going to start something that I didn't really want to do, but I need the money. We're going to be doing a little. I'm going to set up a little like exhibit farm over here. I'm going to do that later, though. Hello, Ian. Welcome to the stream. And but yeah, well, let's just dive straight into the dome. So it has changed a little bit since the last stream. I actually redid the whole thing, and we don't have the hole in the top here anymore. But everything matches up pretty perfectly now, apart from these red areas here where I have some considerable overlaps. And what I'm going to do with those is they're going to be entrances and exits. You can see I've marked out kind of like a rough one on this side here. But if we go into the dome now, there's a nice walkway that goes all the way around the exterior of the dome itself. So guests will be able to come in, walk all the way around, and that'll mean that anything we kind of like build below, which is probably what I'm going to play around with in this little stream tonight. So guests will then have like an opportunity to come down here. So for example, we'll just like do a basic looped path going down here, and that will take them down into some of the lower exhibits where we're going to probably build our first one. And I want to do like an Asian water monitor build within this lower section here. And the reason why I've gone with the Asian water monitor is because I want to build a custom kind of like an exhibit. So it's all going to be enclosed, and there's not going to be any like open space for the water monitors themselves. So we're going to make like a huge kind of tank for them. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. So there's going to be a few things that we're going to work on. First of all is basically going to be working out where we're actually going to build it, how we're then going to fit in the staff areas. And as I mentioned before, what we're going to do is we're going to just go to an area here where I could then take out this panel and we'll build a staff entrance behind everything. So all of the staff stuff is going to be hidden on the outskirts of the dome, but underground, if that makes sense. So really exciting prospect. This is kind of going to be like a mini zoo within our current zoo, so I thought that would be something really interesting to play with. So what do our Asian water monitors need? Now, do bear in mind, budget is a little bit low at the moment, so I'm going to have to maybe do a little bit of refinancing and stuff. Yeah, I'm quite surprised as well, Wolfie, that the frame rate is still going strong. I do get like little slowdowns every now and then, especially with having like over 3,000 guests in. Unfortunately, because of the way that the money is kind of working, um, I've had to limit my guests, but the limit where I don't get any like issues whatsoever is probably about 2,000 guests, and that isn't actually enough guests to make a profit just from the guests alone through donations and stuff. So unless I get a serious like exhibit breeding program going on in this zoo somewhere, which I might do, I might build like a research center or something where I can just churn out exhibits and stuff with no kind of guests being able to access it. Unfortunately, I may have to succumb to the frame rate issues. It would be nice to have less guests because the litter is crazy. I don't want to show you because it's embarrassing. But yeah, I've not had a lot of time to actually do management, and I feel bad because I promised doing like regular management updates on how it's all gone, but that's just been impossible due to how much building has had to go on and kind of churning out regular stuff. So Asian water monitor is what we're going to look to do today. And if I just consult my list, it's not a shared habitat. No, it's not. Right, Asian water monitor. So they can only have 1 or 2, excluding juveniles. And then we will have an adult and a female. So let's just take a look. How many offspring do they produce? Is that in here? Right, okay, offspring 2 to 8. So let's try and build this for the max of juveniles. So we'll go all the way up to 8. So 200 meters squared water requirement and 430 meters square land requirement. Now, I have a few concerns about building this right at the bottom because, like I said, I do want to play around with levels in this. So what I might do is, just to kick this off, we're going to put a little cube in, about 4 meters, I think. And we'll just run that around to, like, here. There, I think that would do us. And actually, that gives me another bit of an idea. If this is going to be kind of like, we want to have like a diving requirement in there as well. So if we sculpt this, flatten it to foundation, and just pull out a nice little plot of land here. Oh, yeah, I think it's great. Actually, Mischief, it's probably one of the best things the game does because it kind of gives you a bit of an idea with advanced planning for how big your habitats are going to be. Something which I often neglect to do. So if I am building a habitat live on stream and I forget to do it, you should point it out because it will... I will completely forget every time. Right, so if we have a look at the area here, we know this is going to be a fairly big habitat. And what I'd like to do is just draw the path around, looping down into this area. And then we're going to seal all of this off and have the staff entrance here somewhere so that staff have access to it. I'm just going to get rid of, actually, before I do anything further, we are going to get rid of the path supports. I didn't actually want them in, so I'll just go all the way around and remove them. And we could put some extra bits and pieces in here as well. And I'll probably do a custom fencing or railing for it. You can see there's bits where the path has been placed a little bit off-center. And the actual fences up, the railings and stuff are coming through. I probably could have just taken the railing off, actually. Railing on, elevated, yeah. That would have been a much simpler idea. So we'll... I'm a bit off the pace, aren't I? It's been a while since I played Planet Zoo. It's been a busy week, actually. I've not had a lot of time for that sort of stuff. Which is why there probably won't be a build video this weekend. So I thought I'd do a stream tonight. But yeah, I've got a couple of interviews for my teaching placement and stuff to prepare for. So I don't actually have a lot of time to create stuff this week. But hopefully next week things will get back to normal. And maybe I'll put something out a little bit smaller for Saturday, but that can't be guaranteed. I might just do another stream on Friday night, in fairness, and we'll see how that goes. Right, like I said, or like I should say, if there are any volume issues, please let me know if you can't hear me. That'd be really good. Thank you, George. I hope they go well too. I'm pretty excited, but I've had to do a bit of prep this afternoon, which is another reason why there's a bit of a delay to the start today. Normally I'm like ready to go, but right, okay, that's better. We've got rid of those railings and we have got rid of our supports. So we're going to start marking out our barrier now, bearing in mind we need 460 meters of land for them. So I kind of want to aim to have about 500. That would probably be the ideal. And also bearing in mind that this area to the left here is probably going to be our deep water area. So we want to try and pull this out a little bit as well. And we'll just make that all glass. And then that should give us enough to put a water tank in. And I'd like it to be quite a deep one so we can see the Asian water monitors diving. But for now, we're just going to map something basic out and then we can adjust the terrain accordingly. Right, we'll put that in there, basic for now, and then we'll just add our doorway there. Not where it's going to be permanently, but I would like to just see how big this habitat is to begin with. So at the moment we have 728 meters square land area, but do bear in mind, like I said, we're going to be having a dive pool there. So if we just edit this barrier, I'm going to draw along here, we'll make all of this bit here glass. And then I'm just going to add another post in that cuts right across here. And hopefully match up there. That'll do. But we'll just adjust it a little bit to here. Then we can fill this up with water, and hopefully we can then have a little look at what our habitat is going to be. Oh, and I need to adjust this barrier a second and make this not part of the habitat. There we go. Right, not a habitat perimeter. And then if we go to this one again, just tabbing out to that, we have 488 meters squared of land area and 176 meters of water area. So we need to expand both areas slightly, which is fine. We can certainly do that. And I actually may raise the whole thing up a little bit more. So effectively what we want to do is we want to actually create a... I'm going to delete that whole section there. Oh, disrupts, of course. Need to get rid of the water, don't we? Right, we'll get rid of the water. Then we will highlight all of the barriers here and just delete the whole thing, and then get rid of these 2 extra bits that we've put in place. So for now then, let's add another 4 meters onto the terrain. We'll try and take that up to here. What we do need to be careful of though is the path and stuff. We don't want the pathing to become an issue when we actually place it in. So if we go up another 4 meters, I think that should be good enough. That will mean that we will have to create like a... Ooh, that was a bit laggy, wasn't it? That was a frame rate drop that we don't like to see. And what we'll do is we'll create like a concrete barrier of some description that the Asian water monitors can kind of slide down into the tank. And the idea here then is if I just bring in a couple of construction pieces to start with. So we're going to take some basic stuff like... I'll just grab this Arctic wood window for... just to show you what I'm trying to create. So that is going to go there. And then along here, there's going to be areas of visibility into the actual main habitat itself. And then this down here will be the underwater section. I like that when you place them in here, we get that echo of a thud when you place building pieces down. That's pretty cool. So, yeah. So basically, the path will kind of curve down here. We'll not do an 8 meter path. We'll just do a 4 meter one. Yeah. Wolfie, you've got a habit of jinxing these streams, don't you? So, essentially, what we'd be looking to do is, if I get rid of these a second, and then I pull this path up to here. Yeah, I am used to it. Thankfully, there were no frame rate issues in PvP last night, so... Now, I don't want it to arc down, so we'll do this, and then we'll kind of curve it upwards. Just extend the length a little bit. Now, I don't want to create stairs. I want it to be a nice, like, curving path that kind of goes down. And if we loop it a little bit further, what we'll end up with is, hopefully, something that joins onto the path like that. So then we would fill in this area here. Guests would be able to walk down to this section, view the Asian water monitor in the above ground section, and then kind of, we can put a staircase in here which takes them down to the underwater level. And that kind of makes sense. We're not taking up too much space in here, but starting to see the necessity for potentially a second dome, because that's already a fairly sizable habitat that we've loosely mapped out. So what we could do is we can expand the area underneath here further along to increase the size of the habitat, and that would all kind of be like covered over. And then what that's going to allow us to do is we can like build a little bit further up here, just again mapping this out. If we go up another 4 meters on that, does it match up with the path there? Yes. So we could only go probably another 2 meters up. Just getting my levels right here. Yeah, so then effectively what we'd get is we'd put a roof, like a flat roof, on here. And if I just adjust the grid height, and then this would all go along and slot nicely underneath the actual... Hello, Diz. So this would all kind of slot underneath that path there. And then what we can then do on the top of it is put some mulch down. So the mulch would kind of cover the upper section here, and we'd put trees and stuff growing out of that. So they have this nice like internal tree sort of growth on this section. They kind of loop round. Some of them they'll be able to see into habitats and stuff, but other than that, they just kind of get forced down through here. They can see the Asian water monitors in this large tank and then walk down into the underwater section. So that's kind of what we're looking to create with this habitat. And then all we'd need to do is find a way to have our keepers get access. I'm just going to adjust my camera because it looks like my hair has completely vanished. I'm not bald. We'll do this. There we go. Now you can see me. Problem is, when we go to just chatting, let me just jump over there a second. Oh, look, you're going to... Yeah, not fun. But yes. Right, let's crack on. Yeah, doing pretty well, Diz. How are you? So we're now going to put in our barriers again. And hopefully this time, with our glass and null barriers and stuff, we'll be able to put in the tank and just have a nice expanded habitat. So we're going to run this all the way along. And I could delete the path, but I'm going to leave it in for now, just so I've got that as a rough guide. We're going to start by building our habitat all the way out here. And I'm just going to... Now, I need to make sure that this hasn't gone actually... The problem with null barriers is when you're actually building them, you can't actually tell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo this. And we'll actually start our null barrier where I think the glass is going to go. And then we just need to make sure... What I like to do is I like to go over here. Oh, damn. Oh, well, I hope the network sorts itself out, Diz. If not, hopefully you can catch some of the stream on the VOD when that goes up. So we'll get this looping through here and around. And it will kind of stop at the back there. Now, we've got to bear in mind that this won't all be traversable areas. So we need to make sure that we have a nice fixed location for the water monitors when we actually put them in. Because right now, I'm eyeballing this and I don't think... It's the full... Yeah, you can see there. So let's just... This is where it gets tough. Sometimes building with null barriers, you're better off not doing nulls to start with. It's a better idea to kind of... There we go. Now, I'm actually underground here, so we're having to just chart a path through. But this is all outside of the actual dome itself. And this will then come around. And we'll try and have it like taper off. Coming back in. So it's a little bit of work to do on that, but we've kind of made it work. And then we'll build our internal kind of pool. So if we pull this to here. And then I'm going to grab this section. I'm going to pull this right into our habitat itself. And then we know to pull the rest of it in there to get it lined up. Right, and that just about brings it back into play. Right, good. Okay, so we're kind of getting somewhere. Next up, we want to put our glass back in. And I'm going to add some glass here. And we're just going to pull this all the way along. Apparently that glass is obstructed, but I don't know what by. It was, and then it wasn't. Okay, right. We'll bring this all the way around, and then we're going to make all of this into glass. Apparently not. Doesn't want to be glass. Why won't you be glass for me? Please just be glass. Really doesn't want to be glass, does it? That does. We'll just put it back in as a glass piece. Oh, it's the path, isn't it? That's what's causing the problem. I forgot about that. Yeah, the path is causing the issue with glass here. But that's okay. We can deal with that. We'll just make sure that we're matching everything up properly. We'll get rid of that one. Then we'll bring this in. I'm just going to move that. And again, like I said, this kind of like nitty-gritty way, it's just mapping it out so that we know what we're kind of working with in the next part. It's very it sounds a bit laborious and a bit frustrating, but this is one of the reasons why I am. Why won't you be glass? Yeah, that's a haiku. Someone make me a haiku about why won't it be glass. And then, right, okay, so we've got that in place. Then again, we just need to select this part of the barrier again. And we just mark that as not part of our habitat. There we go. Now, if we add a doorway onto this, we should be able to... Oh, yeah, this is the issue as well. Right. So, we're going to get rid of all of this work here. And then this piece we're going to pull. And we're going to try and move it all the way up. Now I've kind of got a bit of a bearing on where I want it to be. In fact, we're going to get rid of this. I know what I need to do. We put it there. And then we cut inside here. And then we need to match it up to this one. There we go. If you ever have trouble building your null barrier doorways, that's usually why. Yes, why won't you be glass is... you know, when YouTubers decide to embark on, like, singing careers and stuff. That's my first single. Right. There we go. Now we can put in our habitat gate, and we'd have, obviously, naturally, the path would face the opposite direction so that our staff go out into the backstage area. And what have we got? 788 meters square of land area and 234 meters squared of water. That's a good size for us. We could make it a bit smaller, but if we were to do that, we'd kind of not know what was going on with this back plate here. And obviously, because the barrier itself goes around a little bit further, that's actually not as much of an area as we were expecting. So I'm going to delete this piece now because we don't need that. The next step would be to... I guess we can mark out our basic staff area and then we can consider just building the habitat. There's nothing else we need to do, really. We just start making that habitat itself, get our Asian water monitors in, and then build the enclosure around them while they're in place. So, first things first now, I could have done some advanced prep here because I don't know if there are any Asian water monitors in here, and I don't think I have any. No, I don't have any in the zoo. Okay, pray for me because I need an Asian water monitor. Come on. Oh yeah, plenty. Right. What have we got then? Not much good on the high rating. So as these are our test subjects, I don't condone animal testing, let me just make that very clear, but we need it for the advancement of our habitats. Just put that in as a disclaimer. That's my second hit as a YouTube singing personality. Right, so now we are going to need to kind of do a little bit of weird backstage work. And what I want to do is we're going to do this. We're going to turn on tunneling. And we're going to add in some... what do we need to do? What do we need to do? Tunneling is on, so that's fine. And flatten terrain. Because I'd still like to be able to make this a nice looking backstage area. So what I'd do is we'll align this to the grid. We're going to do that. We're going to add that in, and that automatically should start tunneling for us. Yes, it does. Excellent. We get a little bit of a weird lip there, but that's not too much of an issue. And then I would like to kind of have these as like little tunnels and stuff. So we're going to seal all of this off. And when we take out this bit here, we'll then add a brand new doorway in that would kind of hide all of this backstage nonsense. So this is kind of going to go a little bit further into our underground area and then peel off in that direction there. And then what we can do is we can put a trade centre, the usual sort of stuff, and we'll have this run all the way around the outskirts of the dome. You can see here we've got a little bit of a couple of holes here that we're going to need to fill in. And I think that might be just because that's just a consequence of using the tunneling tool. So if we flatten all of this back to the foundation, it should cover it up again. And then back down underneath, we can just come back through here and you can see that it's solved itself. And of course, we've got this gap all the way around the actual dome, but we're going to figure that out and cover that up in a more meaningful way. So we need to put in a transformer to begin with. So we have to use transformers here because obviously we're working underground. So let's just do something basic here. We're going to just try and get this set up correctly, and then if we advanced move it, just push it back a little bit and then try and level it up with our path there. That's the transformer in, and then I'll be able to add all of the extra stuff on either side of it. So to begin with, we just want some staff facilities, so we put in a trade center and a keeper hut. Just a small keeper hut should do us for now. And unfortunately, all of the staff here are going to be cave dwellers because I have not planned for how they're going to be able to get in and out of this space. So, cave-dwelling staff members, they're going to live underground, the mole people of Arcadia Zoo. And I'm just going to go back to my group here and push all of this back so that we get some paths formed, hopefully. No, you're not going to work for me? I do want to flatten the terrain, though, so if we can have that happen, please. The terrain did not flatten. Right, Georgia, you're the first mole person of Arcadia. Welcome to the staff. Right, so this has all gone a little bit skew-whiff, as we say. And I'm just going to... we'll leave these hidden for now. And... it's just so that we can get this basic stuff put in place. We'll match this up with a path. Like, really, all I want to... where's that path gone? Building underground in Planet Zoo is not fun. But there we go. We've got that in. We have trade center and keeper hut. That's all we need right now. And we will hire our first mole person. Oh, I forgot I've been doing research. Right, let's get a mole person. We need a keeper to begin with. Oh, no. Are you going to... there we go. Hello. Welcome. Now, we better... you don't have a work zone, Teddy. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Diz. It's not worth looking at right now. And then over here, what we will do, obviously, is get rid of that panel and the supporting structure there, and that gives our staff access to the habitat. So let's get our Asian water monitors in, just to start with. Oh, we'll need a caretaker, won't we? Because they're who bring the caretaker. It's just, this is. You okay there, mate? You're having a hard day. You're right. Let's. Okay, there we go. Right. Now let's get the water monitors in. Obviously, our first kind of step is going to be to actually seal off the whole area, and we can do that a number of ways. We can just use what am I trying to say? we'll use some paneling and stuff to block it all off so that they can't escape for now, and then we'll be able to kind of work to their requirements. Now, obviously, at the moment they have no access to their water, and also the actual water area is a little bit low for my liking, so we'll have to work out how we're going to increase the height of the water just by bringing the barriers up and then giving them access to the habitat itself. So first things first is they're probably going to escape from this entryway, but we'll deal with that for now. And that's our first Asian water monitor coming in. And our keeper is going to go and grab the second one. And there we have it. Right, our Asian water monitors have arrived to a completely vacant lot with nothing on it. And we're going to try and change that for them. So, Santoso, let's have a look at your traversable area. So, at the moment, they can't actually escape because that's too high. And they can escape here by just climbing onto the path. So that actually makes our job quite easy. We just need to give them access to the water and then a few other bits and pieces as well. Now, what are we going to do in terms of decoration for this? Because what I was thinking, the moving shadows, I didn't actually have a look at that, but let's just... Oh, yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, I know the mechanic can't reach the habitat because it's underground. Neither can the vet. We'll just... you just stop bothering me. We can deal with that later. Now, you may have also noticed there's a problem here where we've put this entrance, which is that this is where I wanted an actual entrance to the dome to happen. And that can't happen, really, because when we start dragging the path out, we're probably going to get some overlapping there, which might cause an issue. Not much of a problem right now, but we do need to keep that in mind as we build out more of this dome here. So, next step then, we're going to start building our actual internal habitat area. And all I want to do is start playing around with construction pieces and working out what we can actually put in here. So I'm taking suggestions for stuff, but I think obviously the ideal would be the tropical pack stuff and seeing what we can play around with. We've got these lovely bark panels and Indonesian bamboo panels that I definitely would like to use. And then in terms of our standard walls, we get the mossy stone blocks, which are cool, and then the stained timber, which could be really nice, the stained timber panels. And then we've got the temple brick wall, which I really like, but I don't know if it's going to be suitable for this. I mean, obviously it's great that it's flexi-color, but also I don't think it matches the theme very well with what I want down here. So I kind of want this to be a nice modern-looking dome. So the architecture and stuff in here, and maybe consider using plaster, but then attaching bamboo panels and stuff to it. So for now, well, I'm going to run with that idea. So we're going to go with some plaster to begin with. And we'll just use panels for now. Actually, I'll use a wall just to get some measurements done. Because obviously right here, I want to try and build this on the grid as much as possible and have it aligned to the world axis. Because that just makes everything easier and we don't get that frustrating issue with the... God, I'm drawing a blank. When you're trying to move stuff and it just moves ever so slightly one direction. So that's probably the length of our wall. I'm just going to put this into position now and we'll give a slight rotation on it so I've got some idea of how this is all going to look. Because at some point, you can see where the path is, and the idea is that this needs to match up with the path, not the landscape itself. So when we put this down, we might actually see that our Asian water monitor's traversable area drops a little bit as well. So if we just line this up, bring that to here, and you can see there we lose quite a chunk of land. So our other options are, we kind of have it peter out here, so we actually remove this panel, and then have like a little bit of a private area underground there. That would kind of be like a sleeping location for them. And then, yeah, I think that could work. So this is our kind of main wall, which then slots down into the water section. So we can actually expand this and bring this out, give them a little bit more water. Right, so this is the wall that I'm going to work on. And this is basically how we're going to do it. We're going to pull this here, then we're going to go back to our advanced move and rotate, and we are going to reset the rotation to the world axis, and then bring it right the way out here so that I've got a nice plane to work on. So, going with plaster is pretty standard for me. I love using the plaster. I think it looks great. You can see we've used it all the way around here. Now, this external area of the actual dome is eventually going to be covered in like a facade. So we're going to put a load of rock work and stuff in there and build little bits and structures out so that we can create these kind of indoor themes that look like outdoor spaces. So it looks garish right now, but the more we add to it and the more we build it out, the better it's going to look, because you'll start getting this nice cacophony of like natural areas kind of starting to form within the dome, and eventually all of that plaster work will be covered, which kind of begs the question, why did I put all of the supporting structures and stuff in? Didn't really need it, but I'd still like to have the option to have little bits of that poking through, so you still get that effect, and we could maybe just put some greenery attached to the plaster itself. So I think it's going to look really cool. I'm really excited about it. It's nice to kind of break away and do something a little bit different here. And like I said, this is probably just going to be something that we do on stream. Everything gets done on stream, and then I'll maybe put together like a little like extended kind of episode of everything that we've done to finish that off and just add a little bit more content to the channel. That's easier to access than just coming in and watching a full stream. So let's see, plaster. Now, I want to replace all of these with plaster panels. But actually, for now, we can put in a 2 meter high, no, a 1 meter high plaster wall. So I don't want guests to be able to see here. This one, we'll have this one, and this one as visible areas. So we'll put down a 1 meter wall there. And I know I said we were going to do this full build here, but I just want to rotate this back into position, because it's that long path there that I want guests to be able to see into the habitat from. So the rest will be blocked off pretty much. And we can probably remove one more actually, as the path kind of slopes down. So we can remove that one, and then we'll put another 1 meter wall in right there. Cool. Right, now we'll bring this back out, reset it to the world axis again, and then we'll start adding some little touches to this to make it stand out a little bit more. So we're going to grab all of this first, and I'm going to turn this a nice brilliant white. And then we'll start adding some extras. So we'll get back to our tropical pack. And we'll use these mossy blocks. And these are flexi-colour as well. You can change the colour of the moss and the stone, which I think is a really cool touch. I'd love more flexi-colour, but we don't have it at the moment in terms of like these sort of pieces. So the reason I have started doing that, Diz, is because yeah, it has been fixed. It's updating at a decent rate at the moment. Hopefully it'll continue that way. I did notice it. We had a little spike in chat earlier on. So I reset it like this, because when it's on the world axis, if you want to do like that free movement of pieces, I've found you don't get that kind of slight drift when you're moving certain pieces. So I've just started doing this as kind of like a standard thing, and then manually moving the whole structure into position. I'm just trying to find new ways of working within Planet Zoo with the build pieces. But yeah, that's basically why I'm doing that. So we then grab all of these and move them all the way across. And maybe a little 1 meter one just to finish it all off. And I think these, yeah, these just back up onto this area here. And then we will grab all of the stonework. I mean, I wouldn't take that as red because I could be wrong, but from my experience, that has worked for me. Because there's nothing worse when you're building something and you just want to move a couple of pieces and they move that little bit. I always have it happen with fences and stuff. So, yeah, that's one to watch out for. And now I think I'm going to put some of these thicker ones in, actually, just to frame the whole structure. And we'll have those lap over a little bit. And I think we need to move the top plate up a little bit more. But we'll have them overlap a touch and then go down into the actual framework of the building. And they can probably continue down. But once we've got everything else in place, we'll be able to do that and work on how we're going to have this have some sort of definition to it in terms of the structural integrity of the whole build. And then we'll just bring that up a little bit. And there we go. Right, that fixed that in place nicely. Then we'll get some glass. And I'm going to use usual kind of the glass panels that I love to use so much at the moment. And, oh, actually, what we could do is we could use some of these nice modern glass panes because... yeah, we've had a few jinxes on the chat already tonight, so we'll just see how it goes. But I know who to blame if it all goes wrong. But I am surprised at how well it's updated, so we'll let you all off. Now, there's definitely more glass panels on there that are like the 4-meter glass panels with different variations on this. Or are they actually just panels and I've not noticed? Well, for now, we'll just put a lot of these in. And you can see there it covers the... we get some overlap there. And I wonder if that's because I need to move them back a little bit. No, it isn't. But that's okay, because we're going to put a bamboo front on the whole structure. Yeah, jinxes for everybody. Right. The reflection is blinding. I don't like it, but we'll deal with it for now. What's happening is we're getting reflection coming in through the windows themselves on the dome, and then it's bouncing off those windows in the habitat itself, which is causing all sorts of nightmarish situations for us. Right, tropical pack, and this is where I'm going to start bringing in these bamboo panels. Now, these are really cool. I like these a lot, and I'm going to put some of them down here just to frame this and cover up the glasswork that's there. And what's really cool about these is you can then change the colours of the actual background. So we can change the colours on the plaster work to create a little bit of shadow behind it. Yeah, reflections for everybody now. Not jinxes, reflections. So we'll just create a slight pattern with these, just repeating all the way along. And then we'll duplicate the full structure once we get to the 4-meter mark and continue moving it forward. And then because I want to run those pillars a little bit further down, we can actually just move this whole structure a little bit that way. There. And then I think if I can squeeze this bamboo back a little bit, no, I can't. So I'll leave the bamboo as it was, and then we'll just pull the entire lip here forward so that there's a nice overlap. And we can hide the tops of the bamboo with our stonework. Like that. And what does that look like on the other side? Yeah, that looks cool. There we go. Right, then we just... Before I do any of that, we'll duplicate the supporting pillars here and just move them all the way across. Just to the midpoint. I'm just eyeballing this again, so it might not be perfect, but I think it's good enough. Then we can grab all of the pillars here. I'm going to pull these out a little bit so that they're overlapping the stonework on the window sides. So if we just pull these forward a little bit, there we go. How's it looking on the interior? The interior doesn't matter so much because there's more stuff I'm going to do there. Then we pull these supporting beams down, and there we have it. Right, okay, that's looking good. Next, we just grab all of these bamboo pieces, and we can start moving these along. Cool. Now that's looking pretty good to start with anyway. Then what we could maybe run the trim all the way along the top, but I want to leave some room so we can put in some TVs and stuff and see how that all looks once it's finished off. And then we can make some nice decorative pieces on there, and once we get the roof in, that's going to look pretty good. So whilst this is pretty basic, I think I'm pretty happy with the actual structural design of it, but I think what I do want to do is just move these pieces along a little bit. Just right to the edge there, so there's some sort of framing. And I think I'll grab the pillars as well. Just pull them right to the edge. Is that overlapping? Yes, it is. Good. And then we'll do the same. I'll just grab these. I'm gonna frame this completely. We'll have it completely framed up so that it's looking really nice. And then at least we've got a kind of aim for where we're going to be building and adding in extra bits. This, we probably won't have the bamboo running along there, but we may put some nice trims in because that next piece is going to go further down. So these two pieces of wall are actually going to be duplicated and sunk into the ground a little bit more. So we'll do that, and then we'll grab these two pillars here, this big one and this big one. And then we will grab the top frames. Bring them into position. And then I'm just going to grab these two. We should be able to just shift these along a bit. There we have it. Right, okay, nice. Now, the next section, I don't mind if we have a little bit of like overlapping and a little bit of that weird stuff going on when you're trying to move stuff. So I'm happy to bring this into position now and line it up so we kind of get a little bit of a visual on how the whole thing's going to look once we have people coming in. So I want to try and cover the path there as much as possible. And we can always like rebuild the path if needs be. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to line it up like how I want it to look. So right on the edge of the water there. Something like that. So then that's going to go all the way along there. And we'll just redo the path so that we now have something to aim for. Now, what I like to do if I'm going to be very precise with my pathing is to begin with, we'll get rid of this. And then I know I want my guests to be able to see an area here. So we're going to turn off tunneling, very important, and turn off flattened terrain as well. And then we just find a nice sweet spot for where this path's going to go. So I think there. And then there. And then here. And then we'll start having it curve upwards now. Like that. So we can get rid of the top path there because that's unnecessary right now. And the entrance path. And then have it do this nice curve all the way around. To the top there. Oh god, we went too high. Like that. There we go. And then we can add in something a little bit creative there, and that'll be fine. But that's looking a lot better. We'll obviously have some sort of trailing route of some description to block all that off, but you can see right there we've got this nice viewing area, and then it'll go further down into the second kind of viewing area. Something like this. And what we could do is we could have this little piece here visible. So just put a bit more glass there and extend this pool a little bit further. Right, now we're going to quickly get rid of the water in here and then bring the whole habitat up. Oh, Diz. Well, I hope we get power back on soon as well. So if we bring this all the way up to here, we don't want it to go higher than the actual terrain. So if we can just sink it down a touch to like here. And then we're going to adjust ever so slightly this post. Bring that to somewhere like that. But I just remembered. Yeah, I know Habitat's become invalid game. Don't shout at me, please. So if we bring that to there, and then add a null barrier in to match it back up, that reforms the habitat, and we end up with a slightly larger pool. There. And then we put in our water. That's better. Slightly deeper. But I want it deeper. So let's turn this off a second. And hopefully, if we edit this barrier... Now, these are the problem barriers. What we need to do is we need to bring the terrain so that it's flattened down to around here. To then reshape the barrier. And then we should be able to put our water in there. And then if we get back to our barrier, and again, we need to make sure that these are not part of the habitat. And then we come all the way around here. We drag the height of this barrier up further. You just be quiet a second. Bring that all the way up to like, I don't know, 19 meters. And then we add in another null barrier. If we just move that around. I think because of the height of the barrier, it's causing a little bit of an issue here. So if we can get in and just pull that down to there and then match it up. It's a little bit of a weird kind of trick, but we've made it work. Then we should be able to increase the size of our water here so that it's kind of level there. And then hopefully, as long as we can reduce the height of this barrier right level with the water, and the same here. Please work. That's worked. Excellent. And can we then bring these ones down? Well, that did. That worked. What about this one? This little post here. Can I bring that down? No. Right. Okay, so we're going to leave that barrier in. We can cover this. We can cover all of this. That's fine. So that's looking pretty good. Now we have an idea for how our kind of underground area is going to look. I did not mean to pause my game there. So this would be our kind of underwater space. We've got a nice deep pool here that we can then fill in with a load of rockwork and foliage and stuff. And if I just have a quick look at our traversable area, I'm just going to quickly unpause it so that that can recalculate. They still have no navigable swimming area. Plenty of space in the actual habitat for walking about and stuff. And that's actually going to get larger because we're then going to move this terrain here. We are going to flatten this back to foundation as close as we can get. And if I just make this a little bit smaller, we should hopefully be able to get right up to the habitat. No, we can't. Yeah, okay, so that's not going to work. But that's okay. We're going to cover this with mulch anyway and make a nice little platform for them to get into the habitat with. Now, I've just realised that I've not actually had the Planet Zoo soundtrack on while we've been doing this, so I'm going to pop that on, and I will be right back momentarily, and we'll resume this build, and hopefully we'll get at least the framework of this done in the next hour, get the top built, then we know we've kind of completed the exterior of this habitat. So I shall be right back in 1 second. Oh, right. Here we go. Now, that's better. Now, the chat has completely disappeared. I forgot when I switch screens, the chat resets. So, right then. Next step. What we should probably do is just continue this all the way along here. Then at least we've got a vague idea of what we need to produce moving forward. So if I just grab all of these pieces here, I should be able to create a duplication that works and allows us to just continually move this piece along. Drop that in. Drop that in. And again. And again. Now, obviously, that means we're going to have to do some adjustments within our actual habitat again, which just means moving the barriers. It's not an issue. We can figure that out. And I wonder if the simple kind of end to this would be to just duplicate again and bring this whole structure around. And it just hits the wall. We can do something there. That would cover that up. And we just need to adjust the barrier slightly so that we can match this up a little bit better. And now you see where I'm going to start having some issues. Oh no, that seems to have worked okay. Right, now, never mind. I thought it was going to start listing lazily to the left. Right, okay, that's in. Now we have an idea of where we're going to have our guest viewing area, and we can just adjust this barrier ever so slightly. And the slightly big structure is in place for our Asian water monitor. And it does look very basic, but it is it's getting there. Oh, Diz. Well, we light a candle for you. We can. So, once again, I need to edit the barrier and remove the glass pieces and then put them back in. And I must remember to make sure that we are setting them to not be part of the habitat once we put them back in place. But then it's just about adjusting these glass pieces so that they go outside of the habitat. On this side. Can I just grab the pillar, please? That would be really nice of you. Not that one. Can I grab this one now? Yes. Cool. Right, that's gone in. And then these pieces we just move into yeah, glasswork having a bit of a dance there. So we'll pop that there. And then we've got this just goes all the way along. If we match that up with that pillar, there we go, no issues there. And then push these ones into these pillars. What we end up with is a nice viewing area where all of our glass is mostly hidden. Like there. Okay, this one didn't quite work, so we're going to need to adjust that a little bit more. Just get it sunk right into the pillar. And this one to that one, and then here. Yeah, so as long as it's not sticking out on either side and the glass is completely covered by our structures, we should be okay. This one here has caused a little bit of a problem with some overlapping there. And that is largely because of the path, I think. So we will have to work that out. Either by moving the path ever so slightly. I think that's what we'll have to do. So we'll just take out the path there. The barrier is more important, and we can adjust the path accordingly. So let's not worry about that, and let's just get the barriers actually placed correctly before moving on. So that's in. We've still got a little bit of glass coming through there, which I don't want. So we move it a little bit further in. And that has now completely hidden the glass all the way around the entire structure. So That's good. We're looking pretty good. We're going to grab these pieces now and tell the game once again that they aren't part of a habitat perimeter. Then come back to our rough water, put that in, make sure it's at a good level. Yes, it is. Actually, looks like it's above the... Wait a minute. That is it. What has happened here? Weird. Like, this is valid. Making a little puddle there. And how strange. I wonder if we can... No, we can't, because I need to be able to adjust the height of this barrier all the way down. Unless removing the barrier altogether would work better. No, I'm not going to overcomplicate it. We're just going to do it the way that I'd planned to. So we'll drag this all the way down to here. There. Cool. Right, now, the backstage area, I'm just going to show you because you need to see how garish some stuff looks sometimes. And that it's not always perfect. So whilst this is eventually going to become a really nice looking habitat, the area behind this is just this weird mess of stuff that we're going to have to work on. But it's taking shape. We're getting somewhere. So what I want to do now is I want to drop down another row of pillars, and we're going to do this all the way around. So every single one of these pillars is going to get duplicated and sunk down into the ground. I then need to repair that path that I've removed. Unless our guests fancy a leap of faith. Oh yeah, the rain in Planet Zoo is incredible. And like when it stops raining and you get the little puddles left behind, I think that's incredible. Absolutely amazing. One of the best parts of the game, I totally agree. Right then. So I then want to grab these again. And we're going to put these as like another lip just below. Yeah, I'm watching them like fall down roof and like roof work and stuff. Yeah, it's very, very impressive. And then I said I wasn't going to use the 1 meter plaster again, but I think it would work quite well down here. So we're going to duplicate that and use it to frame the bottom here. And again, we'll grab these 4 meter pieces because they're going to do this bottom piece here. Like that. So that's all closed off. This is going to be something else. We'll maybe have another kind of habitat kind of branching off here, going all the way around and like looping that bottom section. Or we could build an entire new level here and have a slightly higher habitat that guests can't access from this place and they need to kind of loop around somewhere else. Or we could put a few exhibits in this space as well. Or toilets, maybe. Who knows? That's something we'll figure out as we continue to construct here. So I'm going to exit this a second and just match my path up again. So it's probably going to need to go from here. And we'll try and just have it curve upwards. That first curve wasn't quite enough. There. And that's too much of a curve. There. Alright, that's cool. We'll put in a little bit more paneling down here. So I'm just going to grab that 1 meter piece again. and then select all of the bamboo, get rid of the glass, duplicate it, and then drop it down, and we'll just quickly highlight the bamboo here. Not the plaster though. Oh no. That's what I get for trying to cut corners. And then we'll just nudge this back into position there. So we've got nice little overlapping bits of bamboo there. Right then. The next step is, once again, take this framework, bring it all the way down to create another little shelf on that other section. There. And now we just need to put a roof on the whole segment. Here we're going to have to work something out a little bit different, but that's not much of an issue. All we're going to do now is, I did work out that I could put a top section on, didn't I? So, I think if we get more plaster, again, it was 1 meter, I think. Or it might have been 2. Yeah, I think it was 2. So this 2 meter section will go all the way along here. And then, again, we'll colour all of this in a brilliant white, but I think there's a bit of an overuse of that already, so this might change from plaster to something else. And this top section is going to be a little bit different anyway. So, we're going to pop a roof piece on now, and again, we're just going to find a flat roof bit. And I might go bamboo here. And that is because I like the underside of the bamboo. I just need to find the right piece. Oh, no, it's thatch. It's the thatch because it's got bamboo on the underside of it. Ooh. Oh, now that's an idea. Alright, we're definitely going to use those new Indonesian thatch pieces. Now, do they have a flat section? No, it doesn't look like they do. They've got nice gable bits and then mid sections, but not. What about if I just go Indonesian? Okay, so there's toppers and stuff, but there doesn't seem to be a flat section. That's okay though. I want thatch. And the thatch that we're going to use is just going to be basic flat thatch roof pieces. So it's the palm ones that I want. These. And we're going to bring these in. And maybe here. We're just going to see how this looks first. Because bear in mind, we don't want it to cause too much of an interference. It looks very strange right now, and I promise you it's not going to stay like this. We're going to do like a mixture of thatch and mulch. But as you can see, we're now covering up the entire section of this habitat. So underneath, we've got this. And I kind of have visions of putting like metal framework in here and attaching some spotlights and stuff to create a little bit more of an artificial feel to it all. And we're still getting natural light coming in from the dome, which gives us this really nice effect as well. But as you can see, the path is interfering there as well. So again, we may put down like a second layer here, just running underneath the path. But that's something that we can think about when we're doing some sort of finishing touches. For now, though, this thatch needs to be changed a little bit. Of course. Please do. So I'm going to run this thatch all the way along here. Like that. And then this entire section will then be covered in mulch. So if we go back to our nature. Mulch. Now, this is where I'm going to work out whether or not it was a bad idea to actually put everything in. Yes, it was just an odd request, Diz. But yes, of course you can. Please share away. So perhaps thatch was a bad idea, because it's not really giving me the effect that I want. Although the underside of it might actually just make it worth doing anyway. And the mulch doesn't actually poke through, so if we can just bring out like a little bit of a trim or something to make it work, that's fine. But again, we could do away with this altogether and not use the underside at all and do something a little bit different. But like I said, for now, this is pretty good for me. In fact, I wonder if we get rid of this a second, I want to just make sure, because if we can find a piece that the mulch will snap to save me some time, you better believe I'm going to do it. Let's just take something like this in. And then if I duplicate that, oh, it does. Sorry, thatch roof. You're not the roof for me. Won't even let me undo the whole thing. How frustrating. Right. Never mind. That was a bit of a failed experiment, but we'll get rid of it all. Can I please get rid of you? There. Right, okay. So we're going to have to use something a little bit different because I want my mulch to just snap straight to the actual mulch pieces. So, what if we were to go with something like, I don't want to use metal plank, painted brick mud wall? Will this work? Because that's still got a bit of a texture to it, hasn't it? Yeah. Also, grid height, please. Sort yourself out. Surely I can attach my mulch to my mud. I can, but not position snap rotation, please. No. Why have you done this? What is that about? Oh, now you work. Right, so then we'll grab this and this. And we'll just duplicate it. Oh, cool. Right, okay, that's what I want. But first, we're going to put some straight mulch patches in here just to square it all off. And then if I just grab the two angled pieces here. It's making it difficult for me. There we go. And then we'll undo these two and then duplicate an advanced move. Flip it all the way around. There. Now that's a complete mulch piece, and I'll drag the... That's better. And then we can just go around all of the other sections of it. I don't know what I've selected there, but I don't think it was... Well, it's been selected now, so it's getting duplicated. And then we can just rotate this, varying angles and stuff. Oh. Feeling the build grind now. I've just realised doing this, I'm probably now getting like this weird zigzag pattern of all the stuff that's underneath it. Yes, we are. But that's okay. Like I said, I'll probably build another little suspended floor into this, so maybe using the mud wall wasn't a good idea anyway, because we're not going to see any of it. But yeah, I'd like to build like a little bit of a suspended ceiling underneath it all and have like a little gantry, but obviously because we've got not a great deal of ceiling here, that might be a bit difficult. And then I'm just going to... Oh, I forgot to continue it along. What an idiot. Oh, I know, Wolfie. It is can be frustrating, the amount of precision you do need to get them to work. There we have it, right. Okay, so that kind of extends all the way along there. And it means we've got a little bit of space here to do extra bits or something like that, but we now have the basic structure of this whole piece. Now, along here, I want to have the wall curve a little bit, which is going to take a little bit more work, I guess. I could kind of create like an indoorsy part there. So, the next step is to give these guys access to their water. So, we want a... Hang on, let's have a quick look. Tropical. Asia. Stone. And of course, it's probably just going to be a return of the usual tropical rocks. Yes, it is. Right, okay, so we're going to bring these in. And we're just going to try and get them as level as possible with the dirt within their habitat. And this is just going to kind of form up. Now you can see there, the actual barrier is a little higher. So we're going to have to create like a little bit of a step up for them. That will then lead straight into the pool itself. And for now, like we've done many a time before, we're going to just continue by using this flat piece of rock because I love it and it's very versatile and useful. And we're going to carry that on all the way into the pool itself. Now we need to be aware that this kind of needs to form like a sort of ramp for our Asian water monitors to get into their habitat. But if we carry this on all the way around, right to the edge of this area, we'll at least have covered up the ugly barrier. I'm sure the barrier won't mind me calling it ugly. Just peeking back to make sure that I'm not going through my own wall. And we're... Uh-oh! Excuse me. Right then. And then we'll continue to move this further in. And sink it down a touch. Maybe give it a little bit of a rotation, actually. Like that. Now, once again, we'll just go outside and make sure that there's no overlap. There isn't, which is really good. And you kind of have the first parts of our entry into the diving pool. Now, they still don't... They do now have water area. There's way too much soil and not enough rock. So we just need to have a quick look here. And as you can see, they have full access to their pool. So we've solved that issue. The basics are almost there. And that's pretty good because we're about an hour and a half in, and I'd like to think we'd made a little bit of progress before we move on to 2 Point Campus. So the next step then is going to be to finish off this little area and thoroughly close off the rest of the habitat. Obviously, these interior bits, we're going to come to doing the designs on them when we actually design the little habitat itself. There's plenty of space here for our water monitors, and we could also put in like a little bit of a backstage area here, like for our staff. So the staff would come in and they'd have this little closed off area, like a little pen, where they're able to do like little bits and pieces, and very much like we do in any kind of backstage area in the zoo. And obviously we need to sort this out, but again, I'm thinking of doing like a little bit of a rock design there and having like maybe a pipe that's pumping water in to kind of create the water feature in here. Kind of like a miniature waterfall. And then at the back here, we're going to need to maybe make this a little private area. So we'll have it all curve round and sink in. And then we'll maybe build a few like rocks and stuff. In fact, we could do this as all rock. And then I wouldn't need to build another wall. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make that all rock. So let's go to our next kind of structure then. We're going to just grab a tropical rock here. And we'll sink this in, and this is going to form the basic structure of what will probably be the sleeping area. So we'll pull this up here, and then we'll just start moving gradually the rock all the way around. More waterfalls. Okay, I promise I'll do this and then we'll build the waterfall. We need to be wary of our time because I want to do some 2 Point Campus stuff. I want to talk about the archetypes in 2 Point Campus and design some really cool custom dormitories for my new students. But that's something that we'll talk about a bit later on. But I'm excited for that. It's kind of a request. Some people have wanted to see how I build my dorms and stuff. But also, I've been wanting to do some blueprints for when I get back to the career mode. And I think that would be a perfect time to do that. So we've wrapped this rock all the way around. And then we'll just tighten up the join here. And then grab this drop. Now, actually, before I do anything else, I'm just going to grab these and make them a group. So then I know this sleeping structure is all going to be like one group. And then we'll just have that touch on the guest barrier, the trim, and then this is going to go all the way up into our roof. No worries, Ian. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you're liking it so far. this isn't part of the process that I show a lot, so it's quite nice to share it and still actually have people watching, because it's very tedious. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Right. We're starting to get to the super focus now, so I'm not talking now. That's alright, Diz. Enjoy your other stream, it's absolutely fine. Okay, this is I think what I need to do is just get this rock work kind of going all the way around here. We'll put some cladding on that. It's not too much of a problem. I just think I want to seal off this now that I've got the basics in there. And then we can have a think about decorating the actual interior structure. So I just want to try and hide as much of that... you know what it's called, as possible. And then we'll carry this all the way around here. Now it looks like my rocks are trying to snap to things that I don't want them to snap to, so we'll just turn this off as well. There we go. And obviously this back area is not going to look perfect. We don't need it to. It's not an issue. We just want to... We're focusing on what our guests can see and what our animals can see at the moment. So the rest of it doesn't really matter. And those little extra pieces can be done later on. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I will see you later, hopefully. Ooh, right, okay. We're starting to get somewhere. See, this is where this is going to become a complicated build, working within the dome. When we get to sections like this and I'm going through 6 floors without even realizing it. But we are getting somewhere, and it's starting to have a bit more of a feel to it. Hey, 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 rotate where I want you to. Thank you. Okay, that's something good. And then lastly, we'll just pull this one in as well. So that has just about sealed off what is going to be a kind of sleeping area for them. It is definitely the most complex one, Wolfie, in terms of working around with like levels and stuff. Potentially the biggest as well, but I would say like I guess Old Town was probably the biggest I've done so far. This might be bigger in terms of what we need to fit in the area, but I'd say it's certainly the most complex in terms of all of the moving around and all the various parts that I'm going to need to fit together and stuff. So it's an interesting challenge, to say the least. Especially when I'm now going to have to look around and just make sure that I'm getting everything matched up. But yeah, in complexity, yes. Size, maybe not when I think about like how grand Old Town actually is. As like a concept, I think Old Town is probably the biggest. Maybe I should wrap a barrier around the whole of Old Town and see how big it is in one go. Now, where we've got a couple of cracks and holes here, I'm just going to sink some cladding in. And this is where we'll start seeing some little bits of detailing changes in the actual rocks themselves, because we've used the same rocks pretty heavily so far. And we just need to sort out some of the spacing issues that we've got and getting some different textures and stuff in. And this can actually come a little bit further out. What time are we on? 37? Okay. I want to make sure that I'm keeping these streams with a good time. So we'll move on to 2 Point Campus very soon. Now we're starting to get something together here. I think I can move on and do the waterfall. So we'll just finish bringing up some basic rockwork structures here. And that kind of seals off the cave. Obviously it's very basic, but we're going to be able to come back and flesh it all out. And it's just about making sure that our animals have a kind of complete habitat and sealing off the entire area for them. So we'll do this rock work all the way along the bottom here to close the gap there, just again making sure that we're not interfering with the path, which we will change to some sort of, I don't know, some just a different texture, because I don't like that asphalt. I think it's a bit plain and boring, and it would be nice to have something a little bit different in there. Now there's an issue. We'll just pull that inside a little bit, and then of course this little panel here. Alright, that's the entire habitat now sealed. Not detailed, but at least sealed off. And we'll just hit play again. We know our water monitors now have full access to their pool, and we just need to make sure. So they got 623 meters squared of walkable area. That's much bigger than I was expecting. And when we think about it, the total kind of area here is about 1,000 meters square. And the whole of the dome, I think when we checked it out, was about 17,000 square meters. So we've still got a lot of space, which is good considering the number of animals I want to fit in here and the requirements that they're all going to have. Now, I do think we can probably do another completely covered area, possibly for, well, obviously we're going to have a sloth in there, and it might well be that the Chinese pangolin we can do something similar to this with. Now, I do have a little bit of an idea. I'm not sure how viable it is to kind of create something. I'm going to talk about it another time. It's not because it would take me so long to get into it. But the idea would be where we've kind of got this, what we could technically do is fit another habitat on the top. We could put the sloth habitat on the top here. So that's something to consider. We could extend this path going all the way through and have a sloth habitat right on the top of this. If I just... This wasn't part of the plan. This was not part of the plan. But... Right, okay. Let's... Hang on. I'm gonna try this now because I kind of want to see if this could work. Because that means if I can get a walkthrough exhibit in here, get it on the top. Oh my god, it's going to fit. It just fits. Oh, it's obstructed by something. Hello, Gaming Realm. Welcome to the stream. So what's obstructing it? If I turn off flattened terrain, it's still obstructed. Now, what's obstructing it? Let's just get rid of this a second. I don't want to attach it to a group. Right. We're going to... I'm getting very excited now. It's the path that is obstructed, but by what? So we want to try and get it as close as possible to the lip that we've got there. So that's still saying obstructed. Or do we make it go a little bit higher? That's still saying obstructed. I'm just not sure what the obstruction is. But if we can get this to work, I think that's an amazing idea. I think the obstruction might actually be the habitat barriers. Even though they're actually not anywhere near it. The frustrating thing is, when we actually put it up to here... Let me just place that. That worked. Okay, so that worked. We know that happened. Now, if we can just find a way to get this to work... Yeah, I could. Or actually, what we could do is, if we just rotate this all the way around. I think it's too close to that path, and that could be why it's obstructed, so... I'm going to add this to my group here, so that it's kind of... So that fits in. And it is just with that little overhang there. So let's move it. That's obstructed. That's obstructed. Coming out there, it fits. Right. We're going to change the grid size now. Move it again. And we're just going to keep moving it until it's no longer obstructed. That's obstructed. 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 So having it right there worked. Now then, let's just change things around a second. If I take nothing there, Nothing there. Nothing in any of our walls. And the ceiling again, nothing. And then we'll run the path to yeah, it could be to do with the stuff that's underneath it. Actually, it needs to come up a little bit. Right, that's where I want it. We're going to split it from the group. I want it on its own. Okay, so we've got this. It's not perfect, but we now have like a little bit of a lip going down here, and then it should eventually match up there. Hopefully it's not sticking into our habitat below. No, it isn't. That's good. Right, okay. So the floor, no floor. And then the path going through it is going to be hopefully a natural curb path. With no, okay. So because it's raised, there's nothing we're going to be able to do about that. Unless we bring up our... Oh, we could use a natural grass path, but it doesn't look amazing, does it? Stone slate kind of works. But again, we can work with this. This isn't too much of a problem. That's actually quite a nice effect, the stone slate, with a little bit of mulch coming through. Right. Let's get some sloths. Now, my staff don't actually have access to this right now, do they? So we need to be aware of that. I don't think we're going to find any sloths in the marketplace. Oh, we do! Diego, welcome to the zoo. He goes straight in there, and this is where we have an issue. So that's all gone in, and that's great. I obviously am not going to be using this annoying layout. So we're going to sink everything. We're going to have nothing on it. We're just going to make this nice, big, natural area. And I don't like this. This is a problem. So the option is we expand this out a little bit more and have it kind of looping through and make a bit of a curved structure on the top. Something like, I don't know, just very quickly. Because I want to do the waterfall and I don't have a lot of time left before we move on to a 2-point campus. So what we do is we kind of have this come around here and put like a little bit of a trim on. So this all comes around and it just keeps rotating. And then I guess we could frame it all with rock work. And then we've got the sloth in there, which is one of my habitats that I wanted to add into it. I think that's what we should do. So I'm going to leave that suspended in there. Where is he? There he is. Hello, friend. Yeah, you can do that, actually. You can put peacocks and stuff in and just have this all kind of like a free-flowing thing, which I think is a really cool idea. I'm actually going to remove the doors from this as well. Mulch floor. No floor. Mulch floor, definitely. And we're going to get rid of the doors as well. So it's just this completely open habitat. And the idea would be that the sloths just don't have anywhere else to go, so they can't access any other part of the dome. And it's just kind of this nice natural looking habitat. Right, so back in. Let's do a waterfall in this corner here. So to begin with, we're going to add in some larger rocks, as always. We'll sink them right down to the bottom and push them right into the corner there. Hi Nikki, we are in Arcadia right now actually. So welcome to the stream. I have seen your comments, so thank you for binging stuff and getting caught up. This is actually a stream-only project at the moment, so we're not doing any videos on this little build. I like to build it with the community and talk about it all as we're going. Let me just zoom out because you won't have seen this yet. So this is the dome. The dome is kind of like going to contain all of the tropical habitat animals and just kind of sits next to our entrance, which is just over there. Yeah, so today I'm working on a Asian water monitor habitat, which is the kind of first thing that you're going to see in the dome. And the idea is to make it as a giant exhibit. There's also a sloth exhibit on the top, and it's pretty grand in terms of things. But yeah, we have our water monitors in, and we're now just kind of sorting it all out, basically. And getting the finishing touches done on the basic construction of it. But yeah, we'll have a sweep through and show you exactly where it's going to fit in with the rest of the habitat and the whole zoo as like a building and a construct and stuff. Because it's a brand new area that's going to be built just on stream. So yeah, pretty much Projection of Eden. That's what I was aiming for. Something resembling that. And yeah, housing. I think my last count. This is my scroll notes of the animals that are going to be in here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 animals in this dome across 10 habitats. So lots of shared habitats and stuff. And I'll probably, when I finally finish the actual dome itself and get everything done, I'll then start curating a few episodes, just because I think we're, 5 hours in now in terms of the actual streams on this, and we've not done much at all, but it kind of gives people an idea of how long it actually takes to put together these speed builds and all of the other stuff that you see in Old Town and Arcadia itself. So it's quite nice to come in and play around with it. Where's my rock gone? Oh, it's aligning the water. That's why it's up there. Let me just turn that feature off a second. There we go. Right, now we can get back on with it. Right, so we're going to keep building this up, and eventually it's going to kind of lead into some sort of cladding structure, and we can put in some customized grids that are delivering water in here and making it a bit of a waterfall. So I'm going to take my align to surface on. See you later, Gaming Realm. Yeah, we'd not done much at the end of last stream, so we've made a lot of progress today in getting our first habitat in. Thanks for joining anyway, and I'll see you next time, hopefully. And then we're just going to start adding some extra bits on here in terms of cladding. And then we're going to need to build up some sort of structure to kind of support everything. Whoa. Why did it get dark? Oh, I blocked the light out. That's why there was a hole there. Okay. Oh, there's a bit of a frame rate drop. It was going to come eventually, wasn't it? So we'll build this all the way up to the top here. And again, more cladding pieces. And a few more. Just give these a slight angle. It's looking a little better. That's decent. And then again, we come round to this side. Now I want to just have a quick look up top here. Yeah, nothing poking through. So I do kind of get inspired by certain things and then try to do my own recreations and things like that. But other times I just wing it and I hope for the best. I've just found that's just kind of the way I go. It takes me a lot longer to do stuff though, so I think maybe having a plan would be a good idea. But yeah, I generally I just go for it and see what happens. But there have been certain builds where I've put a bit more effort into the advanced planning of stuff and tried to at least have a plan coming into a build. But usually I'm just kind of, let's throw something down and see what sticks. That's just the way I do things with very little planning sometimes. But it's fun. Like, everyone has a process for it, and everybody kind of can do like little bits and pieces of planning and things. Now then, let's put some water in. Now I kind of want to go for like a murky waterfall. I've never really played around with them, so oh no, our badgers are inbreeding. I don't have time to tell them not to, so I'll just have to deal with that. Right there, that's I think that's okay. And then we just need to find a midsection. And then the midsection will go in down here. Like that. Okay. And I'll grab the top section again. And we'll just have another top section there. And then, where's the rapids? rapids section doesn't work, does it? I think if we just go with another waterfall murky top, that should give us enough to kind of indicate that we've got like an end to the waterfall there. Something like that. And then the bottom would then kind of go a little bit further in. Kind of just below the waterline, but sunk into the rocks. And that is the basis of the waterfall. It's not fully fleshed out. We're going to need to do a lot more work on it. But for now, if we just... oh, poor birds, tapirs, stressed, and people can't read... Yeah, I know. Don't worry, staff. We're going to hook all of that up at some point, but... Yeah, right. Okay, so what have we done today? Well, firstly, we've built the basic structure of what is actually a large habitat. That resembles an exhibit, which contains our Asian water monitor, which you can see right here having a little swim. We've also put in the waterfall that's going to be delivering water into this pool, and a little cave for them to sleep in. We then kind of, on a whim, added a sloth habitat here, which is then going to need some support and an extension on it, which we will then bring some pillars or something cascading down around here, maybe of stone and extra bits of like stalactites and stuff made to resemble mud pillars and things like that. And yeah, then that is the kind of very beginning of our next phase of development, where I think rather than doing detailing now, we should probably just focus on continuing to expand the habitats that we've got in here. So we can kind of tick off 2 now that we've got planned in. The water monitor is done and the sloth is done. So that's 2 already done. The next step, I would probably suggest maybe doing a Komodo dragon next. That's the next one on my list, or the Chinese pangolins. So we're gonna have a quick look at the Komodo dragon's requirements, because again, with the Komodos, you can only have 1 to 2 again, and 2 to 6 juveniles are born. So now with their juveniles, they need a lot more space, but they don't have any water requirement. So the actual habitat size is probably going to be around about the same size as our Asian water monitor, which actually means we could fit the Komodos in at the back of this habitat and have it continue to go around. So if I just very quickly map out off the edge of this, not off the edge of that. What is that, you fool? There. And then a null barrier that we add in, and we'll drag this all the way around, just as a kind of experiment. Because we could have the Komodo dragon down here, and actually rather than have it be like a fully viewable area, we could have the Komodo dragon's like sleeping quarters or backstage area underground outside of the dome. And then we're kind of cheating it and giving them a little bit more space. But we will just map that out for now, and this would be a bit more of an open habitat. So what I'd probably do is create a little bit of a dirt area going like underneath or something, and then yeah, lots to think about though, but I think this could work. So if we match that up to there, and then just stick a habitat gate in here somewhere, just as a tester again. So that's only 532 meters squared. So how much more do we need to add on to it? probably need to just add a little bit more in. And if I actually do, like I said I was going to do, just... if we added like an extra kind of space to this, I'm aware that this is not part of the plan, but let's just see what we can get here. So if we just hike this back a little bit more. That gives us 712 meters. So going backwards helps. I think we might be onto something there. But again, what I might do is have the path go a little bit further up. So they'd kind of come down and then go back up, and then we'll make this quite a higher habitat, and then we kind of cover up that little bit of rock work there, and got a little bit more in terms of the levels that we're looking to play with in here. And then we could even sink some exhibits actually into the underside there or something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of thinking to do. But let's have a quick look then back outside of the dome, because again, remember, we could go high here. We could have some habitats at a very high level and stuff, and have some really nice treetop canopy tours and stuff for guests. It's just a matter of how we manage to get our staff access to those areas. Unless we plan on building like a brand new kind of upper area there where we can have some staff buildings or something right at the top, and have, while we've got our cave dwelling staff, the mole people, do we have our bird people staff members up there as well, and just see how that all looks. Anyway, before we finish off, I promised a little sweep down and through, so let's have a look. There's our entrance, which is now packed full of people. We do need new spawn points and potentially a new entrance, because you can see here it's a little bit full at the moment, and somebody is merging with a vending machine. The woodland walk, we are still working on making the adjustments to that to get that looking a little bit better. But we come through here looking really nice. And then, of course, the butterflies through here that I want to do a little bit of work on and expand them, make some adjustments there. Then this brand new area that I've not even started, which was going to be a giant otter. Giant otter habitat. And then, of course, the moose here. We never did the staff area there as well, but that's something to come back to. The moose are currently in storage. Coming back through here, we kind of need to hook this all up with the wetlands eventually. This is going to be the American wetlands area, of course. Like, we've already discussed all of this. But, of course, there were animals in here that I'm probably going to end up putting in the new dome. This is our cougar habitat. You can see it's where the Baird's tapir and the giant anteater used to be. There's not been much change happen here, but I do need to work on stopping the cougars from jumping out and escaping. The dwarf caimans have kind of taken over this enclosure. There are so many of them. Luckily, most of them are juveniles. Oh, are you? Well, you're getting a sneak preview. Capybara in here. Oh, look. This is the group dynamics, isn't it? That's very cool. I've not actually had a chance to see all that in action. Jaguars. I'm going to have to go quickly through it so that Nikki doesn't get spoilers. And this wonderful little... this has been my favourite habitat so far, I think. Baby capybara. You want to see the baby capybara again? They are very cute, aren't they? Look at that. think I've got a jaguar cub as well. Somewhere. And he's Black Panther style. Where is he? Where are my cubs? Are they swimming? The cubs are swimming, guys! Look at that! Baby jaguar cougar. Baby jaguar pool party. I definitely think a quick trip to the mini zoo is a good idea, Georgia. Definitely. And I think I might have some baby capuchins somewhere. The baby beds tapirs are some of my favourites. Where are they? I do have a baby in here. Or what about our baby maned wolves? Do you know what? I really love the maned wolf model. I really do. They're so well designed. They're one of my favourite in the whole game, I think. Yeah, we're gonna have to find a few more babies somewhere before we move on over and start doing some little. I thought it was a baby, but it was a rock. Are they down here? Are they sleeping in the temple? No, they're not. Not here either. There's definitely a... They've all hidden from me. Unfortunately, I don't even know where the anteaters of the nine-banded armadillos have gone. They're normally here. There's a lot of foliage though, so they're probably hiding somewhere. Yeah, where have all our babies gone? Come on, little ones. It's a baby maned wolf and a baby armadillo. Anteater. There we go. I found more babies, everybody. Right. Now that the babies have decided to go hiding, I'm going to take a short break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with some 2-point campus, and we're going to design some thematic dormitories. So I will see you guys in a moment. Oh, thank you, Nikki. Yeah, it does take a lot of patience and a lot of time. That's why, like, doing a live build is a bit of a stretch for me, because you know, this first like episodes have literally been, I mean, to go from, you know, that habitat there took me 2 weeks total, and then this it's all very basic framework right now, so it's quite, you know, it can be quite boring to watch it kind of unfold in a live situation, in a live setting, but when they do all come together, it's really nice to see it, but you do have to deal with the bare bones to begin with. That's why I do a lot of my stuff as like a speed build format, because you don't have to see the horrible work that goes in before it all comes together. Anyway, back in a few minutes and we'll start some 2-point campus.
Tuition fees are expensive, and education is priceless.
Okay, hello again. That wasn't as long a break as I was expecting. So, 2 Point Campus. Right. Okay. So, now, 2 Point Campus has quite a few base game archetypes. And the archetypes all kind of have different personalities and character traits and wants and needs and stuff, and decorative flair within their actual course. So I'm just bringing up a list now of the the various ones that we have. There's quite a few of them. So we've got quite a lot to kind of cover, but I want to just make some dormitories that suit each one. And we're going to go through different bits and pieces and talk a little bit about what each one does. So, the base game, I think, has 16. We are currently in 2 Point University, which is the final level of the base game, where you're going to get the most kind of people coming in, but it all depends on the course that they're going to be running. So what I think might be a good idea is that I go to the universities that favour these certain courses. So we're actually going to leave here. I'm going to go back to the map. We'll just quit without saving. Nothing really much has happened in here. So the first one that I'm going to go to is going to be for archaeology students, which was upper... No, it wasn't Upper Etching. It is Pebbly Ruins. So in Pebbly Ruins, we have a lot of archaeologists. So we're going to create a campus based around the archaeology students within the game. And I'm just going to make a quick adjustment to the volume on the actual game when we finally get logged in, because I'm aware it's a little bit loud compared to how quietly I'm talking now as it's getting late. So I don't know if I'm going to get all 16 done, but I'm going to show you how I build my dorms anyway. Now, the great thing about 2 Point Campus is your dormitory beds sleep 5. I've never stayed in a dormitory, and I don't think I ever would. Especially if one bed was shared by 5 people. So, over here, we're going to start by building our dormitory. Now, my mega dorm, which is my favourite one, is a 3x7 configuration. And if we just kind of put one down here, you can see it's got a mix of just about everything in it. Now 5x7 is great because it means I can actually, if I just place this down, you can see here, it's got a prestige level of 12, which is really quite high. And a environmental rating of 100% with a accommodation rating of 100% as well. Now that's because there are 14 students currently assigned to it, and we have bed capacity for up to 15. I think this is actually 19 students because I think more students will share the double jump bed, which is a romance item. You don't necessarily need to put it in, but I like to make sure that I have one in. So with that in mind, for my new dormitories, I'm going to be building a very similar kind of configuration, but we're going to try and trick them all out so that each one has a specific theme. So I'm going to sell this one, and going in with the size that we have, which is 3x7, we're going to sell this one, and we're going to build a new dormitory that is 3x5. So we're losing one space for one room. I want these to be quite just have like 10 students in each one. So to begin with, I'm going to put in wardrobes on either side there, and then we'll put one bed in there, and then a double jump bed in on the other side. So that's a good start already. Next, what I want to do is make a little bit of a private area in each dormitory. So we're going to put a wall in there and another wall there. So the room is now split in two effectively, so each student will have a little bit of privacy. I'm not going to put any radiators or anything in, but now what we need to do is find something that will start theming this around the archaeology course itself. So there's already bedside tables on the double jump bed, so we're not going to put any in there, but we will put one in right here on that bed there, and then we will put some drawers here. We'll then put a set of drawers there, and we'll just advance move it in so that it fits quite snugly there. I then want to put on a dorm notice board because they're always good to have and really just finish off an area. And then we need to put a bin in as well. Now we put the bin in the larger side there, and we'll put another one there as well. We might as well get them all in. And then a hand sanitizer right next to the door opposite where the notice board is. Next, we need to come up with a theme that's going to suit our archaeology. So the first thing I want to do is just adjust the... oh, hang on. We need to save that first, and then we're going to change the colour on the archaeology bed. And we're going to make it just like this brown colour there. That works. And then we'll also change the actual door wallpaper. Upper crusty. That sounds good. Or grubbin, the cheesy gubbins themed one. Or we can go Royal Decree, which is more of a night school one, I think. I guess we could go... Oh, we've got some Easter themed stuff here that we can unlock. So I'm just going to unlock all of them. In fact, I'll unlock everything I possibly can because I've got... Kudosh is going okay. We're not doing too bad for that. Now then. The last graph is a little bit grim for me. Welcome back, Diz. Ball wall looks too... Ugh. Now. I think we'll go with... Not aliens. Not that. Not that. Ugh. Sparkle potion. Spoony grease. Warning signs. I mean, we could, but it's very industrial. We'll go with... I keep getting drawn back to upper crusty, so that's what I'll go with. And then on the floor... Oh, God, that's terrifying. Space grass, hotel snobby. Ooh. We could go Aristocarpet, but I think hotel snobby's good. Hotel snobby it is. Right, okay, so that's that done. Then, we already have a very good rating there, but we want to increase the prestige rating as well. And the environment rating a little bit more too. So, we're going to come back in here, and we're going to have a look at what would maybe suit the archaeologists within our course. Now, obviously, archaeology tools are a very good shout. So we'll put the archaeology tools in here. And the problem is they're quite large. And I can't... Can I fit them here? No, because it's blocking the drawers there. If I just put that here for a second, I'll then grab these drawers and we'll put them there. Then we should be able to grab the archaeology tools here. Yeah. Right next to your bed. Waking up, grab your archaeology tools, get out digging. In fact, if I can move this bed right over there, I can actually fit the archaeology tools in down here. No, that's blocked apparently. Yeah, it's still blocked. Can I fit this bed any closer? Yay, there we go. Archaeology tools are in. And then what else can we put in for our budding archaeologists? I wonder if I go... it doesn't actually... Right. We'll go with entertainment for our archaeologists. So we've got an old... that's for the School Spirits DLC. What's this then? A spirit vessel. A tricky mirror. A space pet. we're going to unlock the hamster. And we're going to give them some little hamsters to play with. Why not? Now, we're running short on space already because there's quite a few large items, shall we say, in here that we need to just be very careful with our positioning of. So, if I can find a way to get this in, that would be very useful, but it's not playing ball with me. Right, I'm just going to put it there, and then we'll move the double jump bed over to this wall here, fit it in there. We'll take this wardrobe and just shift it to one side a second, and then we'll put the hamster in there. Just pick up the bin, move that to here. Hamster goes in the corner, and the wardrobe can go next to the chest of drawers. There. Cool. Right, so we've got some entertainment in there. Now we want to put down some things to boost the attractiveness. So some rugs would be a good beginning. We'll use the red rug. And we'll just put that over here. And that pretty much finishes off that whole room. I think that's just about done. And then we're going to need to find a nice different rug for this area. So maybe just the purple rug, but we'll change the colour to like green or something, so that it stands out a little bit more against the carpet. That works. I don't think we can change the colour on the double jump bed, which is a bit of a shame. And then we just need to put a couple of paintings and stuff in. So as this is a bit of an archaeology course, what we can do is we can put the Wander Off painting in. Yeah, there's actually 3 in there, I think. So if we get right in, you can actually see there's one in that little hut up the top, one there, and then one chilling out there. And there's also, as we discovered, one with his butt stuck in the drain pipe there. So there's quite a few in there. But yeah, it's a weird little extra. And then we'll just put some more paintings in there. Old paintings and stuff will work a treat for this one. And what else do we have? Do we have anything we can kind of add to it? I don't think we do in terms of like archaeology and stuff. There's a lot of science-based things here, but not much in the way of digging and archaeology. So it might well be that this is the kind of max we can do for this type of course. So these are school spirits unlockables, which we don't actually have yet. So we'll leave them. The relationship items we've got in there. We've got some entertainment. Oh, desks. We need a desk in. At least one desk will always be a good idea, because students can then do some coursework at their desks. So we've got one nice bit of desk work in there, and I think that covers us for this room. So let's have a look. We got a decorative rating. The environmental rating is 100%. The room prestige is only 65% of the way to level 7, so we could get that up a little bit further. Now, the way to do that would be putting in something really simple, like a window that we would put in like here. But what we have to remember is that these windows will be removed if we have if we move where the actual location of the room is. So we'll put a few on each side, and then if one of them happens to get removed, it won't impact too much on our actual prestige rating. Like this one here, we'll get rid of, and we'll put a big one in, like there. And then we can probably put a few more paintings in. So let's grab a fancy hat stand. Might be a good thing to put in somewhere, but I don't think we're going to get the interaction space with it, so we'll leave that out. And then I guess maybe we put in... Ooh, what can we fit? Should we put a herb garden in? There. That's a nice place for one. And then I guess we could put in... There's a campus poster somewhere. What about these? They're ancient spell posters, but they kind of work with the archaeology, I guess. If you're digging up ancient things, you might stumble upon an old tapestry of some description, And then I think that I don't think we're going to get anything more in terms of archaeology themed stuff. Oh, the family tree is a good one. Archaeology based, I guess. Learning about history and stuff. We could have put the space pet in because that's a little bit smaller than the hamsters, but never mind. But I think that's probably the best we've got. So let's just see what that takes the prestige level up to. Level 8. Now, I like to have mine at around about level 8. It's a decent kind of configuration for them. But what you can see there, though, is we've got a nice number of students assigned to it. It's a good-looking space, and we've created our first one, which we'll then save as a blueprint. And we'll call this Archaeology Themed. Okay, maybe not. Dorm 1. Archaeology themed dorm. There we go. And that's our first one done, which is pretty good. Now, did I spell archaeology right? I think I did. Good. Next up, we want a cheerleader. So the cheerleaders, they come in a few areas. But first, we're just going to create a new archaeology themed dorm. We're then going to sell that. And then we'll just go back to our builds, find our dorm 01, which is our archaeology themed dorm. And there we have it. It goes in there and it is automatically filled. That is one down and a blueprint created to boot. How much rent does that pull in, actually? Let's just put that back in and just have a quick look at the rent. $25,000 per year as opposed to $37,500 from my other one. So these have a smaller income, but if you're looking to really kind of create a themed campus, I guess this is probably the best way to go because you're going to be able to put in this room, and then when we add more dorms in, you're going to have a nice variation in your dorms that will cater to all of the students you have. If we have a quick look over here at Eve Blazer, for example, Eve's let me have a quick look here. Social life, personal goals. So her personality is archaeologist. Now, most of the students in here will probably have the personality of archaeologist. So if we just kind of have another look here down the bottom, archaeologist, and again, probably archaeologist. So it's because we have this archaeology course running. But what would happen is if we were to open up an archaeology course in, say, 2 Point University, we would then have archaeologist archetypes coming to that university. Eventually, we'd start to attract those. So in a kind of like full-on build where you want to include all of those courses, you're probably going to need different themes of dormitory, which I think is a really cool idea. And given the fact that you kind of work in 8s because you can only get 8 students in your lecture theatre and all of your classes, you would want to kind of limit the amount of people coming in to an 8. So if we have an archaeology class, for example, we're going to get 8 students coming in who all pretty much have that trait and are taking on the archaeology course. But as we'll find out, there are more archetypes to play with. So we're going to go back to our map. And the next one will be the cheerleader. Now, the cheerleaders love nothing more than putting some pep in the collective student step. So we are going to need to kind of focus on kind of cheerleadery based stuff, I guess. So that's going to be our next step, and that will probably come from Fluffborough. Fluffborough is a sports type campus with a lot to it, so we'll get quite a few in this one. I think we could maybe do a jock and a few others. So my Fluffborough ended up taking on a new course, but we'll talk about that later when we go back. And I think this is quite an interesting thing because if you've not seen any 2 Point Campus, you're going to get to see a lot of the levels that I've played through. I've completed the career mode and the Space Academy DLC, but I haven't completed the School Spirits DLC because the challenge modes got the better of me for such a long time. But I very quickly did the Easter one, so that was a pretty good week for me doing that one. That was the most recent video that I posted on the channel. And yeah, so coming back to kind of redesign some dormitories and stuff is going to be good, because if you have the blueprints that you can just drop down, they really save you time when you're kind of building out your campus. Now then, this was a nightmare. I hated this level. This is probably the one that I disliked the most. It was just such a slog, and you can see how large the campus is and how spread out everyone is. And one of the issues was there was a hygiene rating that you needed to maintain a minimum of, and I just could not keep that high enough. And you can see the dormitories here. This is like way back when I first started playing the game, so the dormitories have developed very much in the last I don't know the amount of time I've been playing it, and I don't know why I've got a lecture theatre that's that big. That's ridiculous. So just to kick things off, we're going to bring in our old dormitory here. We're going to place that, and then we're going to start removing all of the stuff. So I want to keep the configuration, but again, we'll just remove everything from here. We leave the double jump bed in because I want to keep those in. We'll get rid of the hamster and hopefully find something else for them to play with. We'll keep the desk because we're just going to end up moving it around anyway. And we'll get rid of the drawers. We'll keep that. We'll get rid of the archaeology tools, and we'll get rid of the herb garden. And again, I'll put another wardrobe in. We can actually colour the wardrobes, that's new to me. So let's see what we can change the colour to. Okay, so we go white on these wardrobes. Get something a bit nice and quite clean and clinical, I would think. We can't change the double jump bed colour, which is unfortunate, but we can change the colour of the black frame bed, and we can also add in a different style of bed. So let's have a look. I'm going to go with a white framed bed for this one. So we'll get rid of that bed. And again, not that one. The white framed bed, but we'll make it like should we put hearts on it? Or maybe just something quite basic. Like that. The first one. Yeah, we'll do that. Right then. So we've got our bins. We can't change the colour of the bins, unfortunately. Can we change the colour of the desk? No. I'm going to move the desk this time over to here. If it'll fit, it won't. But I should be able to just move this bin. Oh, that won't even move. Right, where can we put this bin? We'll put the bin here. And then we can put the desk in the corner here. Right then. The bedside table, we can change the colour of that, so we'll make that white wood, and we'll put that right up against the wall, and then we can move this bed a little bit further along. Now, cheerleaders. Let's change the colour of this. Now, we want something fun, something cheery. What do we got? Box office. Oh, God, it's horrible. If you paint your walls like this, I don't know what to say. Please don't do it. Right. So, and that's even worse. I'd be going crazy if and that one, Lazy Hazel's pretty good, and Kiwi Cosmos also. Maybe oh God, wow, that is something else. That is, yeah, that's I mean, that's a potential. Wow. The default one looks terrible. Bat motif, we'll use that for the goth room. Ball wall. Now, it is a sporty themed room, so we could go with the ball wall, but I quite like the ducks. I don't know why for a cheerleader. Peach Party's pretty cool too. Diamond Geyser, Cosmic... Ooh. That's good. I like Cosmic Fizz. We're going to go Cosmic Fizz with a cheese balls floor. That's terrible. Dropped change isn't too bad. I like that. Hardwood dream. Oh, sports. Yes, hardwood. Like a basketball court. Yeah. Yeah, I like hardwood. The hardwood floor is good, but do we have something a bit more sporty for the... Spoony grease is pretty good. I mean, it's obviously meant to resemble like a greasy spoon. No, because you can have a chef archetype in here, so we're not going to use Spoonie Grease for that, because that's going to be the... I guess Kiwi Cosmos or Lazy Hazel's a good one. We'll go with Kiwi Cosmos, and then we'll change the white frame bedding to the rainbow bedding. Yeah. Cool. Right. Now then. We're going to get rid of the red rug. We're going to change the colour of this purple rug to purple with these spots. And then we're going to move this over to here on an angle right there. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So our environment is 99% already, which is really good. But we need to boost the prestige rating. So a higher prestige rating is always good. We'll put in the... not the clown stuff. What have we got? So we can put in these little banners. They're going to be good ones to put in. Very cheerleadery. All of the pennants and stuff can go in there. I will also put a dorm notice board. We've got the dorm notice board up already. What else can we put in? I think spooky sweets. They're not really that spooky, so we can just put some sweets in, and then maybe some planters. A nice, calm, peaceful plant might be nice in the corner here. And, of course, you want to put the cheesy goblet in. That's huge. We can't put that in. Lockers. Yes, that's a good one. Like a sports locker. And we'll make them a silvery colour. And then we'll put another bank on the other side here. Like that. That's pretty cool. I think that one's sticking out a bit more than I was expecting. Still is sticking out a bit more than I was expecting. There we go. Cool, right, we've got some lockers in there. We've got a prestige rating of 6. We're aiming for 8, and then we'll be happy. Windows, let's put a nice window in. Maybe in front of the desk there. I don't think we'll fit any more in. Record rugs could be a good shout. But I think we have a music-based archetype as well. We need another rug for this one, so the rainbow rug can go here, and then that kind of contrasts with the rest of the stuff. That goes in. Nice. Now, there's a cheese ball poster, and the cheese ball is the national sport of 2 Point County. So if we can find that, there it is, the cheese ball poster. We'll put that on there as well. And then we've got some more pennants that we can put in. And we'll put a campus poster in as well, just to kind of campus pride, cheerleadery stuff. And then, who else can we put in? We'll stick the rainbow flag up here, and I guess we can put a neon guitar in. That's pretty cheerleadery. I don't know, I was never a cheerleader myself, so I couldn't tell you. And, yeah, I think that's a pretty decent thing. Now, we need something for entertainment. I like the space pet. I like the clown trunk. But they're not very cheerleadery. What about the tricky mirror? Now, I know it's more of a school spirit sort of thing, but some sort of entertaining mirror sounds like it could be fun. The unfortunate thing is I'm going to have to move some of these. So we're going to see if we can fit. Annoyingly, they've not actually implemented that we can put the bunting on the actual fake walls that you can put in, which is a bit of a shame because I think they missed a trick with that. They really could have done that and it would have been really cool. So let's get back to our extra stuff. Now, where's the spooky mirror gone? The tricky mirror can't go there. It can go there. Oh, it does fit and it goes behind the pennant, but I don't want that to be a thing. So we can move the pennant back in. And then we will add in... The clown dresser would kind of work, yeah, but... I mean, if it fits, that is. It does fit there. But they're just going to dress up as clowns. If it was just like a makeup dresser or something, that would have been perfect. But such is life. We're at prestige level 8. 100% attractiveness? What's an attractiveness rating? Right, okay, well, that works. And again, we go to our templates, and we're going to call this one Dorm 02. Cheerleader dorm. Then we'll sell that. This one's a little bit cheaper than the archaeologist. I'm forgetting how to speak. It must be late. But there we go. That goes in. Looking really good. So, sell that off. And then we will move to another course and we'll do a little bit more. So we're going pretty well here. We're flying through them. Next up it'll be chefs, I think. Yes, a chef. So there's a lot of chef themed stuff in this because one of the first ones in Piazza Lanatra is where you will do chef based courses. So you'll get a lot of the chef archetypes in this course and on this campus, which is really good. Gives us a lot to play with, and yeah, so that's the next step. Then after that, it'll be class clowns. Now, I don't know if I have any class clowns, or I can't remember where I had my class clowns, but we'll come to that bridge at some point and cross it in due course. If I can get 8 dormitories done, I think that'll be really cool. And then what I'll do is I'll go to like a sandbox or something, give myself a lot of money, and we'll build them all together. So, here we go. Wow, my god. This is the second level in the game, and coming back to it and just seeing this is giving me nightmares. Like, look at these dormitories. They're terrible. They're too big. There's no accommodation rating on them. What a mess. Right. With that rant out of the way, we'll once again place this dormitory and then we'll set about getting rid of all of the extras. I'm going to leave the desk in. We're going to make these a different colour. I'm going to leave the black frame bed this time. And we're going to go for something a little bit sleek in this room. So we're going to... some nice different pattern on the bedding there. We're going to get rid of all of the posters and stuff. We'll move the desk somewhere else. I'm going to leave a herb garden in there because they're chefs. They'll want herbs growing. And we'll get rid of the family tree posters and stuff. I wonder if there's an easy way to... in fact, there is an easy way to sort this. If I just save a base room template instead. Then we'll put the desk on this wall here this time. And then we can start recolouring all of these the dark wood. And I'm going to move this so that it's here as well. The bin will go underneath the... There we go. Right, okay, we'll get rid of that. And then now we'll decorate this like a Greasy Spoon cafe room. So, Spoony Grease is our first one, which was further down here. I've went past it. Where are you? There we go, Spoony Grease. And some tiles of some description, I guess. Oh. I think that might be the one. Brown wow. Teak tile. Oh. That's nice. Bamboozled. Maple mosaic. Beyond pale. Oh. Iridescent. Well, we know it's got to be Spoony Grease. But we need, I was hoping for some, like, just normal tiles. But I think we're going to get, yeah, we'll go egg and chess. Proper American diner theme. Now, we need some food stuff. Now, there is a menu board. That is a must-have. The chef's menu. That will go right here. And then... we want some sort of... I think there was some nice wall decor. So, of course, the chef poster. We'll put a chef poster on the wall there. We'll put on the abduction poster as well. Not that it's actually a requirement, but I think it works because it's got a cow on it, and cows are food. The cheese poster, of course. Then what else can we put in? We've got the pickle pizza, which we'll put down, and then there's also a pickle pizza poster that is just a pickle. How many times can you say pickle in a few minutes? All right, Wolfie, see you later. Good night. Get well. We've then got DJ Sous Chef, which is one of the artists you can have come and DJ at your campus. Then food groups. We put the food groups poster there, but I'm actually going to grab the pickle pizza, move that to here. Then food groups poster will go in the middle, like that, and then the pickle pizza will go on the other side. In fact, we'll move the abduction poster above that, and then grab the pickle pizza poster. I've said pickle too many times now. It's starting to sound very much frustrating. Right, we are already at prestige level 7, but our accommodation rating is not good. Let's just push play and see if it goes up. It does, but not by much. So we've got to put more in to boost the rating in this room. Could be because there's 11 students assigned to it, and that's why it's suffering. So obviously, when you have too many students assigned to it, that's all right, Georgia. You lurk away. That's what this is all about. You can just go ahead and do whatever you want, and you don't have to pay any attention whatsoever to me. It's I'm happy just screaming into the void. I think most people would be happy if it was just me screaming into the void. Right, we've got that in. We've got that in. We want to put some nice now musicality rug. Probably not a great idea. Marketing rug. A marketing rug. These are Christmassy themed. We don't really want these. A duck. We'll go with this. A red rug. Yeah, that's cool. And then we'll bring in this round rug again. I think that's a nice finish for it. We've got the chef poster. We've got that. Now we need some entertainment. I guess we could put in... I'm going to put the space pet in. Just because it's quite small. I'm not quite sure what the space pet actually is. But, oh, well, I'm very glad to hear that, Georgia. We've got a desk. We've got that in. The accommodation rating is improving slightly. We need something else in there, though.
You're listening to Campus
we do
Radio.
have some space, so we can add in a couple of decorative items to really finish it off. I'm going to put a leafy plant in right there next to the wardrobe. And I guess we can put in some lockers somewhere. Can I fit them in anywhere? We can put it there covering the window. It doesn't actually matter that it does cover the window because it doesn't seem to affect student happiness or anything. And then we can maybe add in... Is there anything else we can put down? Cells, Jasmine Odyssey posters. Can I fit another DJ Sous Chef poster in somewhere? There. They're big fans of DJ Sous Chef. Right, what else can we do? I guess a recycling poster might be a good fit. Can we fit a seasonal pumpkin in there anywhere? I don't know if we can.
Students with a long way to go should really
Right,
get moving.
well, that is pretty high. And it might well be that it's only dropped because of the fact that if we duplicate it now and find somewhere for another room, like if we just plonk one in anywhere, I don't even know if I've got space because it doesn't fit there. Oh, here. What do you mean? Ah. Oh, come on. Will you fit here? No, you won't. You won't. You don't fit there. Okay, just for argument's sake. What? It fit? There we go. So when you have the correct number of students assigned to the room, the attractiveness rating is huge, and we've actually managed to get the prestige rating up to 9, which is pretty good. Right, so let's blueprint this one. And it's dorm 3. And a chef dorm. There we go. So, we'll come out of there, back to the main menu. And then, I'm going to do one more. And then, we're going to go somewhere and we're going to put them all in together. Oh, I didn't mean to go back to main menu. Ah, got to load in again now. Okay, so the next one, where I have a clown school somewhere. I have one in here at Breaking Point and one at 2 Point University. But what is my next one after the chef? After the class clown? It's the cyborg. I don't know where I get cyborgs, actually. I assume... Oh, it's robotics. Now, do I have robotics running anywhere where I've got class clown running? That's scientography, critical thinking. There's robotics there, but I don't have a clown one. So that's okay, we'll go to Breaking Point. We'll do a clown-themed one. Then we'll do our robotics one. I also have Dancer. Which again is another fitness-based one, but the one I'm most looking forward to is the goth one. There's a lot of gothic stuff. But we've got knights, we've got jocks, so a lot of like archetypes we can play around with. And I just thought it was a really cool idea to create some nice like thematic rooms. So I think we'll do class clown, we'll do cyborg, and then we'll maybe do dancer and goth, and then we'll call it there. And I think that's 8. Which is probably what I was expecting to get. There are 16, I think, to begin with. So after goth, you have jock, you have fun runner, knight, musician, busker, neutral, posho, rebel, sharpest tool, spy, SWAT. Oh wait, hang on, they're bonus traits. Let me just start that again. Right, so we begin with the ones we've already done. Archaeologist, which we have. Cheerleader. Chef. Class clown. Cyborg. Dancer. Goth. Jock. Knight. Musician. Neutral. Posho. Rebel. Spy. SWAT, wizard, and that's your lot. So that's the full kind of range that we've got to deal with here. So there's quite a few. But yeah, like I said, we're going to do class clown next. So a very clown-themed, funny room. And Breaking Point was a tough one, again, as you can see. But by this point, I'd kind of developed my first sort of large dormitory, and this is the one that I ended up going with. And do I have space so that I can actually just build another room? I don't. Right, so I'm going to expand this building here to create some space. I'm just not going to save them. That was the question I was going to ask. What were you all in school? Because I definitely had a few phases. I definitely had an emo phase. I had a bit of a goth phase, punk phase. I remember when I first started secondary school, I was definitely just like a common chav. So, but yeah, it's really fun that they have these like typical traits in for the students. I really like it about the game. So for our class clowns, we're gonna go. We're gonna get rid of some of these. Actually, we're gonna get rid of most of the stuff that's in here. I'm gonna leave the spooky sweets, but we're gonna get rid of these. We're gonna get rid of that bed and use a different one. Get rid of these. Get rid of these, and that, and the rug if I can reach it. Doesn't look like it can, so we'll get rid of more posters. We don't need these ones. We're gonna have completely kitted out brand new posters for this room. We'll get rid of the space pet. I'm definitely going to put the hamsters back in. We've got the sweets. We'll get rid of that sous chef poster. We're going to move the double jump bed into this side of the dormitory now. Get rid of the red rug. And then we will start working on the actual decorative stuff. I was definitely a bit of a chav when I first started secondary school. And then I did get SWAT at some point. I don't know why. There was a thing in my school where if you're... all the SWATs apparently had the tightest knots in their ties. And kids used to run around and grab your tie and pull it down to tighten the knot and just go SWAT knot as they did it. I don't know if that was a northern UK thing or what, but yeah, that was... Yeah, we had that. I was definitely a SWAT, though. I'm not ashamed to admit that I just wanted to succeed at school, and now here I am playing games on YouTube. So, right, we need a funny one. I think the ducks are going to be funny. So let's find our rubber duck wallpaper. Or do we want to go with the cheesy gubbins? So you had it, but it had a different name. That's something else that's interesting, being from the UK, is what we call those things. Oh, are you, Nikki? Well, there we go. We have something in common. It's really interesting in the UK how you can go 5 miles up the road and the terminology for these things changes so much. I'm going to do the ducks for the class clowns. I think that's just silly enough to be funny. And then we'll put cheese balls on the carpet. That's awful. Awful. But I think I'm going to... That's definitely for a music course. Ooh, Leaden Circus. God, this is garish, isn't it? What about Razzle? Oh, God, it's all horrible. They really like garish colours and stuff for it. Did I use Cosmic Fizz in the other one? I can't remember. I'm going to do the cheesy gubbins. Detention was your best friend. Is that because you were too much of a class clown, and did you push the boundaries just that little bit too much? Now, the thing is, all of these rooms need at least one wardrobe in them for them to actually be classed as rooms. So we're going to have to put a wardrobe in. I'm then going to go with the brown frame. No, we're going to go with a... Yeah, we'll go with a brown framed bed. So we'll change the colour of this to brown. And then we will change the colour of our bedding in here to this. God, the contrast and stuff is crazy. I'm going to go with that. I never had a detention either. Peanutting. I guess that's because they make the knot the size of a peanut. That's... I quite like peanut. That's quite a good one. Yeah, I never had a detention either. I think I may have been close to it, but it was probably because I missed homework rather than anything else. Right, of course, no clown-themed room would be complete without a clown trunk. So that's the first one that we're putting in. It's huge, though, so we're going to need to make sure that we make enough space by moving the sweets. Oh, was it someone else's fault? I've never heard of peanutting. That's really interesting. Wow. Okay, right. Ah, I see, Diz. So that's probably why you ended up in detention a few times. Were you all in the same year at school together, or was it varied? And Georgia, you need to tell us this story of how you ended up in detention because of someone else. Now, I wouldn't normally put the fancy hat stand in, but I think it's appropriate for the class clowns in the room. I would probably put that in with the poshos as well. So we'll go all out for the cringe in terms of the decor here by putting in a star rug. Because as if this wasn't an assault on the eyes as it already is, we're going to need to really step up our game with some horrifically patterned rugs. So we get a flowery rug in here at the foot of that bed, and then we can start thinking about something that's a little bit more comedic. So the boogie nights are definitely going to be where our nights are. Right, okay. Alchemical friendship, honor rollers. So when we get to this part of the comedy stuff, we kind of start running out of things. We could put the Chinese New Year rabbit in, but I don't think that really speaks comedy. Now, Roderick Cushion is an actor, so I'm going to put him in for the class clowns, and I think this is another Jasmine Odyssey poster. We'll put this little cat motivational poster in as well. Oh, wow, that's quite a difference between you and your brothers. I've got one sister who's like 2 years younger than me, and she lives in the Lake District. I'm going to put the monster plant in, just because why not? I mean, we're dealing with the class clowns here. They're going to have some sort of creepy plant in their dorm room. Why not? That might mean I have to move the hat stand though, so we'll shift the fancy hat stand to there, and then I think I should be able to fit the monster plant in there. No, there. Yes, right, just fitting in. And that is done, but it's only prestige level 7, so I'm going to try and get... get that coffee made quickly. Yep, yeah. So we had a thing in our school where you had to have the school's logo was printed on the tie, and you had to have that showing at all times. So I remember this was a thing that the girls used to do in my year at school, where they'd make the tie as small as possible, the actual bit, and then have the knot really huge, and that was the thing. The boys didn't do it. I don't know why, but they just would not show the logo of the school, and that was cool because it was rebellious. Wow, 4 boys and 2 of them twins, and not a single girl. That's interesting. It's actually I happen to be on my mom's side of the family. We only had girls, and I'm the only boy. My dad's side, we have some family members who are boys who live quite far away. But yeah, they're in there, and that's our accommodation rating maxed out, and our prestige level is still 7. So I want to push that up to 8. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's SWAT Geek, exactly the same. Um, it's basically brainiacs and people who really stick in and don't. They're not interested in having a great deal of fun. They just want to do their work. Oh, Georgia, travesty. Are you still friends now, or is was that the end of that friendship? I'm gonna see if I can fit in a few more extras in this room just to boost that prestige rating as high as possible. Can I fit those drawers in there? Yes. And a bedside table might go in just on the edge here. Prestige level 8. Excellent. That's the dormitory for the class clown done. Oh, really? Okay. I've always thought SWAT was like a UK thing because it was just all the like the geeks and the nerds were called in my school were just called SWATs. No, that sounds about right, Georgia. Better out and not a friend. Oh God. That's yeah, that probably isn't the best way to go, but at least you this is the class clown dorm. And that is now 4 dormitories. So if I don't have space to do it, but I kind of want to see these all together now. So I'm going to sell that one off. I'm going to go back to the map. I'm loving these stories from school days. It's making me feel quite nostalgic. So that's thank you for sharing. I remember, so I didn't have a growth spurt until I was quite old, and it kind of meant that my first 2 years at school, I was one of the shortest in my year. And we had these lockers that are actually around about the size of the ones you see in 2 Point Campus, and they were stacked on top of each other. And I managed to squeeze into one of those lockers, but I couldn't get out. And as I got out, I ended up smashing through the locker above me, because my locker was the lowest level on the lockers, and they were kind of in banks of 9, so they went 9 high. But at the tallest height in them, they were no bigger really than I think probably about 1.5 meters to 2 meters at their full height, because obviously people needed to reach them. So the taller students had the taller lockers, and the shorter students had the small lockers, and mine was right on the floor. I was dead to squeeze into it, and I did. Got the door shut. Nobody locked me in. But then, as I was getting out, I managed to punch through the the locker below and create quite a mess. And they never actually managed to repair. I don't think they used their locker, so that was pretty good. Ah, okay. Yeah. It tends to happen one way or the other, I think. But yeah, I was very, very short as a kid. So now, we're going to put some of these in together. So this is our class clown dormitory. We have an invalid item, apparently, which... Oh, it's not our class clown dormitory. It's just the first dormitory, which is now apparently blocked. Now, this is one of the issues that I have with... Yeah, I was dared to. Or maybe I said I bet I can fit in there, and then somebody else said I bet you can't, so I went and did it. But I essentially improved my locker. Yeah, I made my locker bigger. Maybe that was my intention all along. Give myself a bit more real estate for books and stuff. So, we have our first 4 dormitories all together now. And they're looking pretty cool now that you see them all together. And it's just a nice bit of variation. Just having different themed dorms. So, I think that's pretty cool. And they all have maxed out ratings. So, we've got one at Prestige 9 and the rest of them are at 8, which I think is probably what I'd be aiming to get. And they're all going to be pulling in a fair bit of money every year. 10 students in each one. And it looks like the only one that's had a bit of a drop in the accommodation rating is our archaeology one, which has dropped quite significantly, actually. In fact, they've all dropped a little bit, apart from that one. But that's good to know, though. And I think that actually is because... in these ones, if I was to just duplicate this now, what will happen is the student assignments will just shuffle a little bit.
Good morning.
And as you can see, we now have 9 students in there, which improves the accommodation rating a bit. No, they aren't actually going up any further. But that's good to know. It means we may need to do a little bit more work and just improve these a touch more. I think I've probably only got about time for one more, so I was hoping to get a few more of these done, but we're just going to move on to the cyborg now. Because we've got about 10 minutes left on stream. I'm going to have to call it a little bit earlier than usual, mainly because I have some interview prep to do. So let's go do a cyborg themed one. So for cyborgs, just going to quit without saving because I don't want my progress in that level to be saved. Now, cyborgs will be where our robotics school is. And obviously, you know, doing these, we can change things around and just, you know, if we're not going to have cyborgs in, we don't need to provide them with a dormitory. That's looking good. Thank you, Nikki. I'm quite looking forward to it. I'm interviewing for a teaching course that I'm hoping to do, so I can teach secondary school drama. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. Time for a bit of a career change. Right, this will be the last one. So you can see, I just went all in on this dormitory. There's so many of them. This was a crazy level. I forgot how big this one ended up getting. But this is where I've got a bit of space, as far as I can tell. Right, cyborgs. So we'll drop that in.
Announcement. Robots cannot assist with graded work.
Yeah, I think it just kind of ends up being something that you just fall into eventually, Georgia. I've especially when you're in the like arts industry, it kind of becomes a career fallback, I guess, for, you know, if you don't end up working professionally and stuff, that's just where you end up going. I mean, I've worked professionally a little bit as a director and as an actor, but it just kind of, I ended up running my business, and that's now kind of coming to its end. So oh wow, that's really cool that you both do that. Well, there we go. See, this is nice. I like this is what I like about hanging out on stream. You find all this stuff out and people have that kind of cross-pollination and get to know a bit about each other. So that's really cool. That's really nice to hear. Right, we're going to put in a wardrobe. So cyborgs, we're going to go with flat white, I think. And then we'll pop in another little bed. White frame. And we want to go with like metallics, I think. So let's change the gears and loading, that works. And then the floor. Mother floored. Yeah, like a proper motherboard. Yeah, so that's kind of where it comes from. Yeah, they try very difficult in a very competitive kind of career trajectory, and sometimes it goes well for a little bit and then it just tails off. And that's basically what happened with me. If my business was able to get back up and running, I'd still be doing it. But it's starting to get more and more likely that's not going to work, so you know, need to kind of make some changes. And it's one of those things where it's kind of okay to do it when you're in your 20s, and then if it doesn't work out by the time you're into your 30s, which is where I'm at now, yeah, you need to do that. And I get to be creative doing this, so I'm okay with it. And as long as I can keep doing it every now and then, if I start teaching and things, it's I'm very satisfied with that. So let's get some, of course, robot posters on the walls here. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if anyone couldn't remember. It was basically there was an old building in Newcastle that was scheduled for demolition at some point, and I started up a rehearsal space hire in there, like hiring out rehearsal space for dance classes, acting classes, all of that sort of stuff. And we had offices and things, and a couple of years ago the building was scheduled, and we got our notice to quit because they were demolishing the building. But we'd been there 8 years. It was great. It was nice to kind of be in a place that would traditionally have just been left to rot and kind of look after it. So that's basically what I did. And I had a lot of fun doing it. It was really cool. It was very successful. And then just not having a building and not being able to get back into one, it's just kind of come to a slow and grinding end, unfortunately. But that's okay. You kind of, you win some and you lose some. So as we're looking at robotics, we're going to put in a couple more like space-themed things. And this will boost the attractiveness rating. I don't know why there's the slug we're not going to put in. But gravity sounds like a good one. And then I'll put another robot poster in. We might as well have a load of robot posters on the wall here. Oh, DNA might be a good one. Nah, they're cyborgs. They don't need it. But there are some bands. So I think... let's go with... No bands. No band posters. That's not going to work. Yeah, it was really cool, but it is unfortunate, but it does happen. And you can never kind of expect it to be a permanent thing when you know it's just kind of this meanwhile space. So the slug, I think, is going to be more aliens. So there is a DLC, and the DLCs are a bit more like themed around space. So I was thinking of putting my slugs in the DLC one. So that's why no slugs in this one. We're looking pretty good on this. We've got about another level to push it up in terms of the prestige. I need a rug. That's what I need. Do we have any rugs that we can change the colour of? Just so I can quickly finish this off. Now, these ones. Oh, God, they're horrible, some of them. Honestly, I'll go with a green rug here. No, we've already had a green one. A nice purple rug right at the foot of the bed here. That works. And then I'll put this one will go in here. Right there. That pushes us up to prestige level 7. Don't think I can fit any more posters and stuff in. So what about a trophy of some description? Or a plant, cyborgy plant. I'm going to put the chomp plant in. Where have I gone? I've gone away from my room massively. We'll put the chomp plant there. And I don't think cyborgs are massive fans of plants, but everyone should have a slug poster. Okay, let's find the slug. There it is. We'll put the slug in. We'll put him right there. There we go. Right, we've got the slug pet in, but our attractiveness rating, accommodation rating, has not quite reached the maximum yet. So if there's anything we can do just to boost it a little bit more, I'll be looking to add that in. What about the cat chart? Oh, I forgot about this. The space bed. So we're going to put the space bed in instead. That is much more cyborgy. There. That's cool. I like that. You're very welcome, Georgia. I'm pleased to have provided the slug poster for your enjoyment. What else can I put in? I've got that. I'm going to try and put another chest of drawers in there. Why not? And again, we'll change that one to the white wood. And I think, oh, well, I mean, I hope, still not quite there. We need more decorative items. The little bowl of sweets for a cyborg is not something that I'm a fan of. So we're going to go with a nice red bank of lockers. And still no prestige max out there. What else can we do? Oh, what about some nice twinkly lights? Oh, a no entry sign might be good. It's still not going up. I think that's because there's too many students in it. I'm going to put the no entry sign above the the space bed as well. Right. I don't think we're getting any further on that one. So this is done. So this is dorm 5. I think that was it. More slug posters. There. That took it to Prestige 9. So we go to Dorm 5. Cyborg. Dorm. Override template. Dorm 5. Yes. We got 2 slug posters in now. And I think that will do it for tonight. So, I had a lot of fun. This was great. We've got some nice dormitories made now. And all templated up. So that's 5 of them done. That leaves us with... Ooh. What have we got then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hang on, I'm going to have to start that count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 left. So I was right with 16. Enjoy the Capivara episode, Nikki, and I will see all of you next time we stream. Might be Friday, or I might be working on another video then, but we'll see how things go, and I will see you all next time. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.